here we are discussing biology here on QuadFeed podcast.
What an intro. Hey everyone, SkeelsyShoota here, episode 34, discussing all things gaming and intrauterine sphincter-based comedy. I'm here with the lads, the usual lads, as you can see, as well as plus one. I'll get to him in a moment, but let's go through the lads as we normally would. Ben, master of the barking dog you hear in the background.
Yeah.
How are you, Ben?
We have two guests this week. We have Crow and my dog Angus outside.
Darling dog
Barking at a
Angus.
possum. I'm not going to stop him either. We're a household where, you know, whatever you want to do, you just go ahead and do it. Yeah, whatever he wants to do.
That's
if he
cool.
wants to fucking dress up as whatever and go out, he can do that if he wants to.
That's soft parenting, Benny.
Anyway.
Soft parenting, that's what that's called. What happens if Angus wants to go out and get someone pregnant, another dog pregnant, and then he's going to bring that bitch home, and it's going to be like, Mum, Dad, I've got some news.
We welcome that.
Sure, it's
We
pretty
He
much
wants to do that.
Ben when he was 26.
We have Christoph. How are you, sir?
Hello. Good.
We shall call you Star-Lord. Has everyone seen Guardians yet?
Yeah, I just saw it like just before we started. I just got back, yeah.
Literally. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh. And the Ronster, currently serving time at Guantanamo Bay. He's in a different location this week.
That's right. In Guantanamo Bay, we actually have phones.
Phones, baby. And video phones as well.
Yeah, they gave me my own laptop. It's
Wow.
insane. It's not as bad as everybody said.
Group activities.
That will never get said ever again. It's not bad here in Guantanamo Bay. It's not. I appreciate the waterboarding. It's great.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
appropriate because I know that Guantanamo Bay, they do use the sound of barking dogs to keep you awake, to cause sleep deprivation, try and break the psyche of the there.
Wait, so Ron's
Ben is
been
playing for service
and he's in
for
Ben's
your
backyard.
And the man chiming in with all Guantanamo-based humour for this evening is none other than Scarecrow from the Over Indulgence podcast. I'm steadily whipping my way through 3/4 of you lot, so I think I've only got beeves to go before we round out the
Good luck
entire
getting
set.
him.
Really?
Hell,
Good
I can
luck.
hardly get him on my podcast.
Is that Beebs like Justin Bieber?
Oh, if only. Actually, funny story today.
About Justin Bieber?
Let's roll.
No, I popped into the local Naughty But Nice, and
Which is? What's that?
Naughty But Nice is a adult retailer up here in the Queensland state, and
What do I say?
you know, having a browse. You know, you've always got to browse every month. They bring in some new stuff. You want to make sure you're across all of the trends. When you're in your 30s, you want to keep across these things. So walking around, and there was, for $40, mind you, 40 Australian dollars.
40 of your hard-earned dollars.
Blow up Justin Bieber doll
Oh, God.
with an 1-inch cock.
With a 1-inch.
Now, see, as much as I normally would purchase that and hand it directly to Korth, because the kind of thing that just excites him, he's like a little puppy. My wife convinced me not to because even she would question my sexuality if I...
You got yourself a wise wife there. She's a keeper.
Yes, I do.
Are you sure she wasn't angling for you to buy it for her?
Oh, God, no. No.
I would divorce that shit if she said yes.
No, if she had said yes, I would have bought it, but buying it for her, I think I would be sleeping out on the couch, the shed, on a bed of nails. You know, the marriage will last. There's several deal breakers we have.
Justin
And I
Bieber
think
being
that-
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin Bieber would be one of them immediately.
That's a
That's
fair
sound
call.
logic. Makes sense.
That's fair
So,
call.
so there's my marital life out there on the interwebs, as only my wife expects.
Sounds legit. Sounds like you're trying to bring aspects of overindulgence into this podcast, which I wholly support.
Brilliant. I'm your man to do that.
Done. Should we get into some news, shall we?
Yes, indeed.
Sounds good.
I'm tempted to start with your level of knowledge on all things YouTube based. Because there's a whole bunch of YouTube drama going down at the moment around one particular guy, and it's kind of funny. Well, I won't say kind of funny because this guy's got completely fucked over.
Is it 50 Cent challenging Floyd Mayweather to read a book of Harry Potter?
It's not, but I will write that down for a topic for later on in the show because I did just see that. 50
Everybody
Cent.
knows Floyd Money Mayweather can't read.
Floyd, yeah, exactly.
That's what 50 Cent's betting.
750
Yeah.
grand. Anyway, yes. Are you guys familiar with the term swatting?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
No,
fucked up.
I cannot say that I'm familiar with that term.
Okay, for the uninitiated, swatting is basically a person through devious means calling up a member of like your local police department or something with claims of some sort of well, I won't say domestic disturbance kind of thing because usually they just send around the cops, but something in order to get the SWAT team out. So help
Bomb
me,
threat.
a bomb threat, or I'm holding up this place. I've got guns, I've got bombs, I've got weaponry, I've got hostages, all that sort of stuff. Something that would incur the wrath of the local SWAT team. And apparently it's getting to be quite a massive issue in the States because it's completely fascist. By law they have to respond to every sort of claim of this nature. Thanks, Ross. And basically this week, White Boy 7th Street, one of I suppose the granddaddies of the YouTube scene, was streaming DayZ, of all things, only to receive a knock at the door. And that knock at the door was the local police
Strippers!
department. No. How have
The
we...
is asking.
I've loved
Heavily
it.
armed strippers.
Heavily armed strippers. So basically, the full video itself, there's plenty of them around, and you can see that he's sort of going through the motions and going through DayZ inventory and playing the game kind of thing. Oh, one sec, guys, I've just got to get that, and then the video cuts off, and it's basically a spinning chair, and the next thing you see is a police officer walking through the house with a sniffer dog.
Jesus.
Wow.
Okay.
I do remember hearing about this. There was a guy streaming something on the PS4, a guy or a girl, and yeah, that happens.
Yeah, there were a few burglaries as well that happened.
That's right.
Yeah,
I've seen
well,
that burglary.
Story hasn't ended.
Okay.
I haven't even got to the good part yet.
Ooh.
So because
They
it
really were
was,
stripping.
Oh, come on, get there. Get there for
trust
me,
me,
Skillsy.
when if you see the link, you will trust me. You would want this police officer to keep her equipment on. Put it that way.
Oh.
So over the course of this swatting activity, they happened to find a quantity, and it hasn't been clarified, but they found a quantity of marijuana between 30 and 500 grams.
Wow.
Which in the state of Illinois is a felony charge. So basically him and his girlfriend, and there's some deliberation as to whether or not he's actually got priors as well. So for a felony charge of that nature, he's looking at between 2 and 5 years jail just because some guy decided to swat him. Or girl, I suppose. Let's keep it real. So on the off chance of them finding something, basically they've put this guy away. I mean, and it remains to be seen what's going to happen next because we simply don't know at the moment. It's literally in the last 4 or 5 days, and we don't know yet. He spent like 24 hours in the lockup, so I guess all that's sort of going through the legal system right now. But it's kind of been that hot topic for the week. And his girlfriend, who, I mean, let's face it, he was probably a bit of a fan of the old weed, and found an amount that probably could be classified as trafficking.
Well, yeah, it's a bit tough primarily because of that. Unfortunately, I've worked a bit in security, cameras and everything, not the security guard stuff, but I know with America, their laws, they're pretty lenient. Like a small amount, trace amounts, they usually won't pick you up on, depending on state to state. But with that, you don't.
That's a quantity and a half, though. That's like.
Yeah. Like that isn't just somebody left that bag here. That is, I plan to finish this stream, smoke a few, and probably have a bowl or two, and then go to bed. Which, in my mind, I'm still of the opinion I don't do drugs. I just love caffeine and nicotine, but nothing illicit. But if somebody wants to go have some weed, fucking let them.
And that's kind of the debate that's this whole stirred up, because, and I'm not completely au fait with the whole legal system and whether or not being swatted constitutes coming in and basically anything you find is fair game. I don't think that's the case at all. Other people were like, oh, but this woman's got a folder in her hand which looks like an arrest warrant. So we don't even know, but it was kind of like it stirred up the whole debate of like anything you do in the privacy of your home, be it illegal or otherwise, and especially a quote unquote trafficable amount that leads to felony charges. I mean, he'll probably end up getting off, and he'll probably end up getting community service or a fine or something like that. He had like 35 grand in bail or something.
Jesus.
But, yeah, I think his girlfriend went down as well. That was the first offence for her. But
well, yeah, she'd be accessory too, so she'd be looking at, I think, 6 months jail plus community service, depending on bail amount.
So you can go to jail just for being in the same house?
Oh yes.
Wow.
I won't name the person. An old friend of mine from high school went out driving one night, basically catching up and smoking cigarettes and everything, and we got pulled over at a roadside drug stop where they do the tongue scrape up here in Queensland to check for amounts. I didn't know it, but he had weed on his person in the car. He got pulled over. He got the tongue scrape and got checked, and it came up as positive. He asked for a second. They did another one.
Wow.
It came positive, and then you have the choice of either going back to a station or having a blood test in the van there. He opted for the blood test in the van. The cops started asking me questions about all of it, and I submitted freely. I just said, well, this friend I've only just caught up with, you can ask him.
cavity check, that whole nine. Yep.
Oh, see, it's when they get past the elbow, that's when you really got to bring the teeth. But they gave it a good solid root around in there and found nothing.
It's like you're not filming like an episode of like On the Farmyard. I lost my wristwatch. What the fuck's my wristwatch?
Don't worry, Christopher Walken will get hold of it. Just give him the man to see about wristwatches and arseholes. But yeah, I did the blood tests and everything and came out clean. And my friend said, yeah, we've only just caught up for the first time in about a year and a half. He didn't know anything. He got I think probation for 2 years and a fine and community service for having trace amounts on it. That's just Australian law. In America, it's all dependent on state to state. Some
It's
of them
the
are just
war
like,
on drugs.
yeah. Some states you can have 50 grams on you, and that's no issue.
Well, it's legal in some states as well.
Oh yeah, Colorado, California. I can't remember where else. I think Washington at the
Washington
next
recently, yeah.
yeah. But I can kind of see the point there with the swatting. It should be about what the call is about. That is a bit rough to kind of be like, I'm going to prank this person. Fuck them.
But I guess it might have been left out in the open or something. So the
Well,
dog might have actually been an explosive sniffer dog.
Well, I mean, I think it's got certain degrees of relevancy. If there's a body in the lounge room bleeding into the carpet without a head, it's kind of like, well, we came round on the pretense. Well, we didn't come round for this reason, so technically this is inadmissible. But I mean,
Well, I'm imagining if the explosive sniffer dog picked up on the drugs, that's got to be some fucking big kick to your weed. Like, I'm just not getting a big enough hit from this bowl. Let's mix some fucking nitroglycerin in this bitch. That'll really get me blazed.
That's it.
That'll open up the airways.
Haven't got any nostril hair left, but yeah, let's fucking do it.
Yeah, Skeelsy wouldn't. It'd burn off that beautiful, beautiful beard he's been cultivating. When you die, Skeelsy, are you going to donate that to like the Smithsonian?
I'm probably going to... Jesus, that sounded awful, Ron. Jesus. I'm probably going, and this is based on I'll put myself on the big screen because I mean it's just too glorious not to share. This was trimmed yesterday. Yesterday, my friends.
Now, how do you trim it?
Looking.
For it to be trimmed?
With a beard trimmer? Do you get somebody with a golden pair of scissors to delicately remove it hair by hair?
I go down to Sydney Planetarium and it gets done by laser. So, laser beams which are being fired into space to see whether or not there's any life out there.
Wow, this got gay really quickly.
It gets repurposed and angled onto my face. So yeah, I mean each to your own. I mean, Christ.
We use a series of mirrors and pulleys and levers to get skins looking this good.
That's it.
This is only the look that Stefan can bring you.
Stefan. Yeah. I haven't used my oil in ages though. God, this really has turned gay. Yeah. I pay more attention to my facial hair than I do my actual hair. And that's probably not too far from the truth.
How does your partner feel about this? Does the Moroccan oil just leave oil all over the pillows? No. Like you go to bed and you basically put your head down and it slips off the bed?
The head just rolls off into the other room,
I sleep upside down. It's like sleeping upside down so that I don't have to hit the pillow. No, I was actually told by my barber to not actually share it with my significant other, otherwise she would get a taste for it. And I mean that's expensive shit. It's like, guess how much that is? Honestly, how much?
$60.
Okay, it's 50, but it's still expensive.
Yay!
Close enough. Chris and I came close.
That's it.
You drink wine
To be fair, and listeners, Crow actually guessed this was 32. So if $50 gives me 3 years off my real age of 35, then I'm all for that. That's no worries.
Oh my god, you're 35?
I'm 35, Ron. Sorry, you missed the boat, mate. Sorry.
You were lying to me about your age the entire time. You told me you were 18. You felt tight enough.
You guys lied to me.
I've been told that a time or two. Jesus.
You lied to me. We shared something special.
Do you know how I know so much about the Moroccan oil, though? It's because my wife uses it for her hair.
Exactly.
And she saw some of an episode I was watching over my shoulder, and she saw you with the Moroccan oil, I think when Griff was on. And she was like, that's the stuff I use on my hair. What has he got it near his computer for? And I said, oh, he uses it to oil his beard. And she's like, if only. It was just like, it'd be like rubbing your face with wet and dry sandpaper. So, here's the other question I have.
Mm-hmm.
How does your significant other feel about having such groomed facial hair? Because I know when it's longer, it's softer and more delicate on a lady's
nether regions. Yeah. Good question. There is a breaking point at which this ceases to be kind of like soft from the root out, and then just soft hair anyway. And I think it's around about 4 or 5 days. But that's at the point where I go, you know what, I should probably trim. So, you know what, I probably will get Grizzly Adams like after the wedding. I mean, the wedding's not for another 4 to 8 months, but yeah, I'll go the Grizzly Adams route.
Just a warning: don't invite anybody from Over Indulgence to your wedding.
Okay, let me write that down. 1 sec. Hang on.
Actually, he hasn't even invited anybody from his own podcast to the
You
podcast,
lie.
so-
You lie. All of you.
Really? Even me?
You were at the freaking engagement party.
Oh, but I didn't know that. I thought that was just the engagement party, not the wedding. It's
Well-
just like, well, hey,
Engagement
celebrate and
parties
drink.
are meant to be where you invite as many rubes as you can to get as much cash as you can.
Well-
For a year. Who doesn't need a new toaster?
Well, I mean, there is that.
Who doesn't need 7 sets of spoons?
That's it. I'm still gonna get through half the shit that I got from the engagement party, but still.
See, my wife and I, we skipped the engagement party altogether because we were married April 9th, 2010. The fun part being is 3 weeks or 3 weeks before that was the opening of Mana Bar. The entire time leading up to our wedding, from the point that we announced our getting engaged to 3 weeks before the wedding, I was working full-time work and working on Mana Bar at the same time. So my wife was left with everything. We were just like, fuck the engagement party, fuck this, fuck that. We're just going to get together, have a wedding. And as soon as our wedding photos were done, I just yelled out to everybody, let's get pissed. We walked down to the Gil Hurley Steakhouse and had drinks and some fucking cheap steak. That's
Nice.
how...
Thanks for the invite, man.
That's a
Thanks for the
wedding.
invite. That's glorious. And thank you so much for the invite, bro. Thank you. My heart.
See,
broken.
if I could go back, honestly, it'd be 4.5 years now. If I could go back in time 4.5 years, Ron, I would just look at me. I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, I would invite you.
I'm staring right into your eyes. Thank you.
They're dreamy.
God, you were saying to me, this just got gay. And Ron was just like,
No, that wasn't gay. That was beautiful.
Ron just turned the gay up to 11.
Just came back. Just came back.
And when I say 11, I mean 2 dicks.
Try docking.
Bit of docking there.
Crows docking each other.
No. See, try docking's the way to go. I still think one of the funniest moments I've ever gotten recorded was Korth coming up with try docking, and it was the simple idea of he and Beeves are going to hate fuck on episode 11, and it didn't happen. Still disappointed, but just the idea that they were going to dock their 2 dicks, so on screen, like, doof, and then they were going to get a 3rd dick, presumably mine, and my foreskin was meant to wrap around the head of their 2 dicks so that it looked like the flux capacitor on the DeLorean. And we were going to run 88 miles an hour and go back in time and appear at Queen Street Mall approximately 1968. So that... And we called out to listeners. Nobody's gotten back to us to say that we did successfully travel back in time in the future. So there's still hope.
You can't disprove a negative, so they
Yeah.
have to prove that it didn't happen. So
Tell me that there is some kind of footage of this. This just looks like something I would keep in my spank bank forever.
I know Griff and Korth are both getting GoPros, and if anything like that happens, I'm gonna be fucking sticking them to their heads on both heads, and we're just gonna get the footage from a central pivoting point and get a look at 3 dicks all together.
I would like to
Fuck
see
yeah,
that.
hey.
I'd see that in bullet time, like in the Matrix, just to see that actually. Like just,
Yeah, you can do slow-mo footage with GoPros, so you know I'm gonna actually lend you the one that I got just so this does happen. Give me the one that's on Portland's stick.
I'll lend you my one.
This is crazy
This has
shit.
to happen.
I'm learning so many things about you this week, Ron. Not all of it good.
I don't think it's ever good when it comes to me, so...
So why don't we
Yes,
like sort of take a tangent slightly off of docking and various penile-related humour?
I know. Let's talk about COD for an hour straight.
You're just jealous, you fuckwit.
No, not really, man. I was sitting there
Well,
like,
you picked the perfect show to not come on then. That's great.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, as you were going to say.
Well, I mean, like, I with Gamescom all wrapped up, I'd be interested to see or to hear what Crow's looking forward to.
Witcher 3. Witcher 3,
Fuck.
absolutely.
Fuck yes, fuck yes, fuck yes. I just at that like the whole way through that
Just
that
get
35.
a room, guys. Just get a room.
Well, it's
Well, we
looking.
can't. Not yet. He's got the ladder set up, so I'm at least okay to peek.
Are you coming
But we
to
can't
PAX,
get a
Ron?
room until PAX.
I was going to say, if you can come to PAX, Ron, then you've got some
Oh,
ready and willing.
you boys, actually, I have got something here just specifically bought this week just for PAX.
Oh, snap. Here we go. Is it my ticket? Have you shouted me my ticket?
No, I
Oh.
decided that seeing as everybody is going to be deciding that they're going to be at PAX, I have bought an an 8-port audio recorder and mixing
No.
deck
Awesome.
purely so that I can have podcasts with as many people as possible.
That's brilliant.
So, I'm here to
USB or XLR?
XLR microphones,
Shit.
only the best.
Fuck. All right. Guess what?
No.
Right?
Guess what
This'll
I'm buying
come
this
down
weekend.
I roll into it. No, but happy to announce that we're offering the invite to the QuadFeed boys to come out and go drink Over Indulgence guys and record a podcast all together in the same room. So Ron
Nice.
and I can fuck. No pros there.
I'm not gonna be there. I'm sorry. I'd love to, but
But you're invited, Ron.
yeah.
You're
Who's driving?
Your one and only perk of this show.
Oh,
Are you going to turn it
we were
down?
going to have KFC if you wanted. It's too
Yeah,
close.
you know, like, cause I'd probably just turn up and just sit there and eat the whole time, and I really.
How
wouldn't
is that
want to say
different to normally?
No, it's true, but like I just wouldn't contribute. There'd be too many people, and I'd just be like, oh, I'm just gonna eat and drink, and I wouldn't go to PAX. I would just like hang out at the brothel across the road from the hotel that Over Indulgence boys are staying at. Is that true?
Yeah.
Was that in the pre-show? Because nobody's gonna get that joke.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. Yeah. Should cover off on that. Fun little
Fun
part
fact.
of- fun fact from Scarecrow's life. I've lived in quite a few places in Brisbane. Before I met my lovely wife, I stayed at a share house, and in the share house, I was sharing it with 4 girls who worked in the legal brothels up here in Brisbane, and
Were they
loved-
hot?
got to know them. Many of them
Did they put out?
many of them live in Melbourne now, and have just said, oh, you know, if you come into Melbourne, then, you know, if you want to drink for cheap and everything, come out to the brothel after 2 a.m. because usually we get a slowdown in customers. We can head into the back room and you can record the podcast there.
Nice.
So, still could be that overindulgent podcasts.
Ron's back in. He's booking.
As I say, Ron has suddenly just found a clearance in his calendar for some bizarre
Yeah.
reason. I don't know if it's related to the brothel podcast. I'm not sure.
No, what would that have to do with it? Like, I'm just gonna book my ticket now.
Where's that motherfucker on Webjet?
Yeah.
I need to get bargain.
Sitting there getting his things out. Wow, that's quite interesting. That's
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time not thinking about that now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
hey,
mad.
you're going to join the married ranks like myself. You have to be a damn good boy there.
So that means I can still get my dick wet.
Yes, indeed you can. And the ladies there are very lovely. I've known them for a few years now, and they're brilliant.
Is it like mates rates?
Hey, you're more than welcome to try, but don't expect my name to get you bargains for a Chloe.
Wait, is that how you think it works, Ron? You just walk up to them and go, Scarecrow.
Yes.
And then they go, oh, and then they give you the secret handshake and take you off to a room filled with hanging apparatus.
Well, I actually thought Crow would have like, I don't know, a bunch of little tokens. If you and there's like a bunch of holes in it. So like every time you buy a Big Mac or whatever, like they stand a hole, and once you get 10 of them, you get one for free. And I was hoping Crow would have one of those.
Fucked 10 prostitutes in my life, and I'm going to hand off a freebie to you, just because I'm married.
Yes, as a gift.
These aren't Subway stamps.
Yeah.
This isn't a free coffee from fucking Gloria Jeans.
Well, that's it. I'm not in anymore. That's it. Fine. Whatever.
Runs
Well,
out.
you already figured.
I'm out. Fuck it.
All right. Well, let's bring this back on track. Witcher 3. Take it away, Crow.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, look, I will admit a lot of people thrown off by Witcher 1, but I'll be honest. The first game wasn't that great, but, played through it, enjoyed it, because a friend of mine said it was really crap. I thought, I'm somebody who prefers to judge it. No, I'm willing to throw down $30 on a turd of a game just to prove that it's a turd.
Yeah.
That's how sad my life is. And
Happily married, folks. Happily married.
happily married. 4 years.
I'm going to escape to the world of Witcher 1 just to get out of doing the chores.
Yeah, and those censored cards.
Yeah.
Nah, all of that was really redundant. I just found the story was really interesting, so I got the books that the game series is actually off, and read through them. The books are actually really well written, and
I didn't realize it was based on a book.
yeah, the first kind of book in the series is called The Last Wish. It's on Google Books. It's like $10, and
Awesome.
it's a series of short stories that introduce the idea of The Witcher and the kind of characters and the story in the world. Then there's a series of 5 novels which tell all of the story leading up to the first Witcher game. But read through them all, and then The Witcher 2 came out. Stunning game. Still play it to this day.
Number 2.
Yeah, The Witcher 2.
I haven't played a second of it. I picked it up in the Steam sale, and I'm literally looking at the icon on my desktop right now. It hasn't had a second of playtime, but I will forge ahead.
It's well worth it. The Witcher is probably the best place to start the series because the first game is very polarizing. It's very much a kind of hardcore RPG.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were thrown off by it, but I enjoyed it. Witcher 2 was really good, and now with The Witcher 3, it brings in the kind of the one part of Geralt's previous stories that has not been talked about in the games, which is his kind of his love throughout Destiny for the Enchantress Yennefer and his surrogate daughter in a way, Ciri. But these two characters are just a really good polarizing element for the world, the story, everything else. It looks stunning, plays stunning. That 37 minute gameplay video they released is amazing. Just if that's what they're going for, and you have a look at CD Projekt Red, their credentials are phenomenal, beyond any other company out there, including Valve, I would happily say, in that they make the game that they want, and they don't compromise with the PC. Then when they said that they were going to release it on Xbox 360, they did it, and fuck me, they made that game look as good on the 360 as they did on the current PC hardware. So, that is my game. I'm really looking forward to that.
There's been the P word was dropped numerous times this week, trying to figure out what resolution was going to come out on next gen and whether or not the whole 1080 penis was going to rear its ugly head, and whether or not it's going to be downscaled or yeah, Ben's laughing away. PC Master Race. So.
Oh no, I was laughing because you said penis.
Oh. Half of the course. Good to see the fundamentals of QuadFeed alive and well.
Yeah. Okay.
But yes, consoles and shit PC.
Mind you, though, they did experience the same level of, the the P word was dropped in numerous articles this week in relation to, is it Diablo 4?
Diablo
Diablo 3.
3.
Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition, which my wife is currently
Reaper.
blasting through at a phenomenal rate. She
Yeah.
has 3 character class, level 70. She's at, I think, Paragon level 127. And she's currently going through on the Xbox One. I think she's at level 42 with a Crusader and a Witch Dog.
Oh, she's using the Crusader. It's
Yeah.
very OP. I blasted through the whole thing with the Crusader in a couple of days.
Yeah, but here's the big question though. I've heard everybody complain about resolution, frame rate, and everything. This could be me kind of coming through and showing my 30 years on Earth as a kind of, I remember the day. But who honestly gives a shit about a resolution? I think if one of core elements to a game, its story, its design, its gameplay, or
Amen.
its graphics are brilliant, or if all of those things are really well balanced, does it matter a shit? Because
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think what it's a byproduct of is you know, we all started at a certain point in time, be it the Master System 2, you know, Commodore 64, Sega Mega Drive, whatever. You know, you've gone through the 8-bit phase, you've gone through the 16-bit phase, you've got your first technically high-powered PC, and things have kind of gone up from there. I think people's hesitancy to kind of go, you know, what's the go with this resolution is because they've probably been spoiled on a previous game that was optimized fantastically, and anything that doesn't meet that sort of previous standard is kind of viewed as a step back in a way. And I suppose with some of the, I mean, especially GTA 5, I mean, there was a whole heap of you know, evidence to sort of support that, you know, the reason why this game was in development for so long was because A, they obviously wanted to get it right, and they had a massive franchise that, you know, stood to make a lot of money out of it, and B, because, you know, they really had reached the I suppose the technical capabilities of the 360. And I mean, you know, you can now see obviously the history books have now been written with GTA 5 being you know, nothing short of an absolute success. So I think whilst we're in this teething period of like Xbox One and developers sort of feeling out the whole architecture behind the PS4 and Xbox One, it just feels like it's easier with the PS4 for whatever reason.
I think that'll always be a time will tell element, because I won't say his name, but I've met a few people in the Brisbane game development scene through Narnabar and spending a lot of time there. There was one man who I won't name, but a very, very brilliant programmer. He was actually on hire from Sony. He was part of the engineering team of Sony of Europe. Now, his job was that he would go from studio to studio who were developing for the PS3 and basically teach them little tricks and elements behind the cell architecture to be able to get their games to run reasonably well. Mm-hmm. Because the entire architecture system was away from x86, the actual programming engine wasn't HLSL or HSGL, the standard programming graphics language, something different. That now has gone to the wayside. Everything is now this, you can program to the metal ideals. You know, ultimately, I just think it's with the developer. They're going to be the ones to
it's how hard they want to work.
Oh yeah. I think I actually have an article here. Yes, with Diablo that you did mention. Phil Spencer tweeted today that somebody asked or said, "Hey man, great job with Diablo and the push for 1080p, but seems the media wants to bitch no matter what Xbox does or doesn't do."
Yeah.
Phil's response was, thanks, I just thought we could get it to 1080p. If Blizzard thought it wasn't right for Diablo, they had the call on what shipped. I think that's kind of key to it, is I don't want to bag out gaming media because, you know, I like to pretend to be one when I'm alone.
With some moisturizer.
You had to have that at hand.
This is my bedroom. Technically, this is my bedroom. Anyway, sorry, continue. Yeah.
No, please. For a joke, always interrupt me. But I tend to believe a developer knows what they're going to do. Oh, Skeelsy, rub it on. I hope that you're cutting to your image right now and not my face laughing at you.
Usually that when he's wiping jizz off his face.
You know what? You're semi-right with that because there has been that many the substance, not the... Yeah.
Oh, come on. Every guy out there, I'm sure, cannot say with a straight face that they have not had a shot or a string shoot a bit too high than they've expected and ended up around their chest.
That's the thing. Like, I aim for my chest. I aim for my chin.
Oh, God, I didn't want it to go this way.
You didn't? You didn't?
No,
Lies!
What I was going to say is there's been that many times where I've come out of the house, and no pun intended, and my fiance has sort of gone, oh, you've missed a spot. And I'll be like that. And it's like moisturiser for me to moisturise my face. My face isn't always this red. It's just this freaking cinema lighting. It's crazy.
Fun fact.
Back to the
Fun
stream.
fact from Porky. Semen is actually one of the best pH nullifiers because it is a perfectly neutral balance because semen can only exist in a 0 pH environment. If it's 0.1 or 0.1 positive or negative, or technically 7 is pH neutral. If it's 6.9 or 7.1, semen cannot survive.
Which is why all those lemons aren't pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't have lemons banging down my door for child support.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Witcher 3 and semen. Yes. My God. Okay. Fantastic.
Hey, it's relative.
It's relative.
I will admit that one kind of good thing is that it has been great to see The Witcher as a game, as a mature game, a game that doesn't hold back and try and dumb itself down for the biggest audience. It is great to see an adult title, a game which deals with adult elements, politics, sexual relationships, and the evil that men do. It's good to see that received in such a positive light by gaming in general. You know, if The Witcher was released 5 years earlier, it wouldn't be as popular as it is today.
Is that the...
I think, like, it did get dumbed down to the... Sorry, Chris?
The Australia banning out games and stuff.
It didn't get banned. It did get censored. The play cards in the original Witcher were removed. Or sorry, they were changed that they weren't so explicit. And in the second Witcher game, there were only 2 sexual encounters that were removed, and it was because they were rewards for quests opposed to character dynamics. You know, because sex isn't a reward on itself. No man has ever done anything for the reward of sex. Let's just remember that.
Ron, I'm looking at you directly.
That's the thing. It did actually get dumbed down when they released a movie and a TV series of The Witcher.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it's like really old, like in the 90s, I think, early 90s.
1996. It was called Exa in the
That's right.
markets.
And I was curious, so I had to check it out. Yeah.
Oh,
horrible. Like
it's
fucking horrible. It's like you guys remember watching Hercules and Xena?
I'm getting that vibe. I really am.
Yeah, like Kevin Sorbo and what's Xena's name? Lucy Lawless.
Lucy
Yeah,
Lawless.
and
Gabrielle.
yeah, and it's like that. But remember how like low budget that kind of was. But imagine that, but then like maybe
Do it on the
4
Over
times
Indulgence
worse.
budget, and that's what Hexa was.
Yeah. It, like, didn't the writer kind of be like, that was a load of shit, fuck them. Oh no, yeah, that's right. He got asked about it, and he said, because he's like a Christian or some shit, Polish Christian, is like, yeah, what do you think about the Hexa and the movie and the series, the TV show? It was like, well, it's Lent right now, and I'm not allowed to swear, so I'll just leave it at that. But I thought it was a really, really good retort. But that's really cool.
I don't know. Depending on you may have seen them if you haven't played it. But the intro cinematics to both The Witcher and The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings, there were 2 for the Witcher Assassin of Kings, one for the original release and one for the enhanced edition for Xbox 360. Those cinematics were made by a director in Poland. I cannot remember his name, but he is actually
It's
just
all a Polish production, like Polish
it's a
writer, Polish
Well,
game developers.
that's why they preferred to do stuff at Gamescom, because it was probably more local for them, as well as they felt bad about not really showing a whole heap at E3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like that when you see companies not take a product where it's still a bit too rough. Like EA's conference at E3 still shits me,
Yeah.
but that comes off to another issue. Like EA are kind of hit and miss in general, but it's if you're gonna take a game anywhere and you're gonna show it, show something. Don't show people going through the Lucasfilm archives going like, oh, fuck, original Yoda puppet. Oh my god.
Remember we mentioned that on
Yeah.
Well, that was E3, right?
Like three or 4 shows ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was they're just gonna go like, we're looking at the old original artwork.
So basically,
doing
we're
something.
seeing footage of you going on a field trip. Okay, brilliant. That's fantastic.
We wanted to know how Hoth was, so we sent half our fucking devs to Antarctica. 3 of them came back, half of them cannibalized, and 2 went off and mated with the natives. That is not a fucking documentary. That is not what we want to see about Star Wars Battlefront 3. What we want to see is shit blowing up. We want to be the people blowing that shit up.
Has there been any? Has there been any? Development in that? Like,
I don't think I've heard of it. There's no
there's-
news.
there's been
so
fuck
far.
all. It's been an AT-AT, just like stepping on something. Boom, cut, fin.
It's probably still in fucking Antarctica. I don't know, like
He's probably having
just chilling
sex
out.
with an Inuit or something. I don't know.
See, at least you say Inuit. Causal just manages to keep going Eskimo. Eskimos don't fucking exist. Inuits. Okay, well, fuck the Inuits.
We're PC on this show. We're so PC, it's not funny. Although apparently all Eskimos are Inuits, but not all Inuits are Eskimos.
Wait, we're
I'll
not
let that
PC at all. What are you talking? That's never happened.
No, we're console. I know, but yeah.
Talking about PC, Ben, haven't heard from you in a while.
I've been biding my time. Everyone knows what it's like when we start talking about consoles and everything, but
No. I'm actually more interested in, as Skillsy brought up, he asked me what the sense is about Gamecom, so I'm going to now ask you the question.
Boom.
Are you excited about any of the stuff that's coming out in terms of consoles now that there seems to be a lot of console and PC releases where they are taking the PC market a lot more seriously, but they're still developing for consoles at the same time? Are you still excited by the fact that, games like Watch Dogs, when it was first shown, you were like, holy fuck, that looks like a brilliant PC title. It was still developed for console. And console's a big market.
yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we were
Yeah,
pissed
take
off
that,
when
Ben.
we got-
Yeah, take that, Ben.
Oh, don't worry. Get ready. Don't worry about that. No, we were pissed off when it came to PC.
No.
No, that's what I mean. We were pissed off when it finally came to PC and it looked like shit. But I mean, aren't you guys sick of being pissed off by games coming to console, constantly being told it's going to be in 1080 and 60 frames, but it never is?
That's why I've got my PS4 coming in 2 weeks' time. I'm done with that. I'm good with that.
I know, but even still, the Poland Xbox were like, oh, this game's running in, oh fuck, I can't remember what it is now, but they were like, oh, it's running at 1080 and 60 frames, like blatantly lying about
33.
what games were running at, and it wasn't. It wasn't even running at 1080, and it was running at like 30 frames, and it's just
Okay.
like, sorry.
There hasn't really been a game where it's looked amazing, which has had very good gameplay or a story or something. All the ones that look amazing are kind
How
of
long's it
like,
been now? It's been over a year, hasn't it?
yeah.
It'll be a year in
I'd rather
November.
sacrifice that it doesn't look as good. It's not 1080p, but the game's awesome. You know, you play it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm pumped for Destiny.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But there's nothing on console, really, that is not out on PC that I really, really want.
Okay, cool.
Destiny.
It was a question, in a sense, is that
Yes.
the console
Destiny
market,
will become... Yes, sir.
the console market seems to be incredibly well served, but the PC market seems to be getting a lot of that service as well, because with every publisher out there, it seems to be that they're wanting to, you know, open up the market as much as possible. They want to make money so as many people as they can get it. Now, here's where I play devil's advocate. I have my beast of a computer inside, and I've got my gaming laptop that I'm recording this on, and I've got an Xbox One, and I don't have a PS4 and don't plan to. Now, it's just the case of I like to play games which have an interesting story. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
vampires or, you know, mutant people running through the countryside killing monsters. It doesn't matter what the game's about. If it's interesting, I'll give it a shot. But I'm very interested purely because there seems to be Ben standing alone at the PC Master Race, you know, precipice, holding his sword aloft in flaming arrows, firing down upon console people.
Thing is, though, I mean, this isn't to toot my own horn, but I've probably got the best PC here.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know your specs, Crow.
By far. Oh, sorry. I don't know crazy either, but yeah.
Crow, give me some stats, buddy.
Give you some stats.
Give me some stats.
Okay. I'm running the i7
4770?
4570K.
I'm afraid to say
Overclocked.
I'm a 4770 overclocked. Continue.
What is your overclock to?
Benny?
You're at 4.2 with plenty of room to go further.
And then simply the same.
Wait. Just then, is that one of those things where, like, Ben's your secretary or something? It's like, Ben, you just answer those questions.
He's the person that releases all my press releases.
I'm the architect. I designed it. I overclocked it.
I am Neo.
Yeah.
Gary's not quite sure.
Are you wearing a white suit in a room full of monitors?
I fucking wish. I got monitors everywhere. But yeah.
I've got 2 here and I'm well lit, so I mean, come on.
Okay. Right, I'll continue. I am at about 4.2 overclock for my CPU, and I'm running the Corsair liquid cooling. On
So
top
you
of
can get
that,
it quite easy.
You probably have me on the liquid cooling, yeah.
yeah,
Unnecessarily, we're not at 5, but anyway.
yeah, 32 gig of DDR 2133 RAM.
Same.
I will snap you there, yeah.
Yeah. And just this weekend, I installed a brand new Gigabyte Asus
Solid state?
R9 292X.
What's that?
Very cool.
Yeah,
That's your what was that? Your graphics card or?
that is my graphics card.
Yeah.
It is a, I think it's 6 or 8 gigabyte. Big beastly motherfucker. It's basically two.
The dual card. Yeah, that's
dual
all.
card. I got a case about 3-4 weeks ago to be able to fit it all in. And running a 1,000-watt power supply, 2 gigabit Ethernet ports, the kind of whole deal. And it is purely, and I will admit this freely, it is not to play games. It is so that I can do the Over Indulgence videos and have 6 streams of 1080p video at 60 megabits per second running through it and actually have it all display on screen at the same time.
Mm.
And bench test and say my penis is far bigger than yours.
I don't... See, I will ask the question, Ben. Do you publicly post your future mark scores?
On OCAU, yes. Only because with my old computer, I have the website record for the lowest score, thank you very much, on my old one. And then now for 7950s, I'm like number 2 ranked.
What's that number 1 got you beaten by?
Like a couple of thousand.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to blow up my card for a number 1 ranking. But yeah.
Come on. Come on. Master race. You got to help support.
Well, that's kind of in the same vein as what mine. I mean, I didn't really build mine with the intention of going super hardcore PC gaming anyway. Like, it was only because I knew that I'd be doing a lot of video editing and stuff, and just wanted something that could take the load and be able to just spit it out and not break a sweat.
I'm not going to make the low joke. I swear I'm not going to make the low joke.
Spit it out, baby. Spit it out. Yeah.
Come on.
Spit it out. Well, you'll be able to take it. We'll take it and swallow it, not spit it out. I'm running twin 680s.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Which
and they're not even clocked either. Like, they don't even break a sweat.
Don't even break a sweat. Sit there
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Nicely idling.
Although I do have a news story here that I was going to bring up, seeing as Skillsy told me to come prepared, and my preparation is 20 links at the top of my window.
Good man.
So I figure I should crack off some of these. But
I won't make a joke on that either.
Oh, trust me, I'll crack one off later.
Cracking off, baby.
All right. Microsoft Research may have cracked the nut to low latency cloud-based gaming. Has anyone read this today?
No.
Okay, well, Microsoft Research has now kind of gotten to the showing stage of a project called DeLorean. So they've released a source paper to it.
Does this involve tri-docking?
No, unfortunately it doesn't.
That's it. Then I'm out.
What a segue. That was going to be an unbelievable segue. Basically, it involves 3 penises going back in time to Microsoft in the late 70s.
It's the secret to cloud-based gaming.
That's it. Yeah.
How do you think I afforded the R9 290X?
I'll just invest in that. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, DeLorean is a project that they've just kind of put their source paper out about, and it's a really interesting project. In their cloud gaming, they've worked out how to solve that latency issue when it comes to streaming over the internet from a central server playing the game to a local host playing it. And their technology, what it does is they've used Doom 3 and Fable as the tests for this, because they're both very Twitch-based games. And what their server will do is it will render several frames ahead based on possible convergence points. So say if you're about to fire your gun, turn on your flashlight, or use an item in Doom 3, that's 3 things that you could do at this one point. What it will do is it will render ahead about a half second worth of frames. And then when you press a button which corresponds with what you want to do at that point, it will then send you the first half second of those frames to be able to start you down that line to remove the latency issue that comes with you pressing the button. It seems to be this really interesting project that they've been working on, and it could be the next step in Microsoft offering their own PlayStation Now style service, similar to Gaikai or anything else like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I suppose they could patent that and then roll that out to anyone who wants to have that technology, and then hopefully we'll get accurate hitboxes on Call of Duty. And
Maybe that's what's holding up the Steam box. Maybe that.
There has been word about that in the sense that it could be some of the issue that comes with Steambox, like a central server playing your games and kind of live streaming it. I honestly think, like, as much as people gaming journalists and everything are saying, oh, this could be great for the Xbox One, it could sell it. Microsoft aren't just concerned about their own products. They would make so much more money in patenting their software and being able to get it out there for everyone.
Yeah,
So,
if everybody uses it.
I'm very much kind of platform agnostic. I just want to see everybody be able to play awesome games. So I just thought it was one of those cool elements that comes up in technology where, this could be the thing that we're seeing 6 months, 12 months from now as that next step, instead of, I have to go home or I have to boot up my laptop or my console or this or that to play. You could bring it up on your mobile phone, just pulling it down through the 4G network.
it's kind of like what Tesla did, didn't they? Tesla released all their patents, and they're not going to charge a cent for it.
Yeah,
That's just crazy.
Not that you would expect Microsoft to do that. Oh,
no,
Ron's back. Hello, sir.
Hi.
you got some more chicken?
No, I'm out of chips, and I had a piece of Toblerone. Because Toblerone rocks the party, that rocks the body. And I'm out now, so...
That's a sharp food. That motherfucker just tears up the mouth like nobody's business.
You guys want some? I mean, they're the big Toblerone as well. You know the ones that are about that long?
It's an interesting choice in dildo as well, Ron, as well. I didn't think you'd go
Well,
for
but like, that's the thing. Like, I could get a Toblerone, and I'll stick it up my ass, and you can come over and lick it after it's melted.
Right, I'm going to try and keep this on a gaming kind of tangent.
Best of luck, Skeelsy.
Yeah. What else, Crow? I mean, we talked about Witcher. We talked about... surely...
Hey, have you guys checked out the new Metal Gear Solid 5 gameplay trailer? Or, like, just gameplay video?
I clicked on it before, and I wasn't entirely convinced it was new. I'd already seen it. It was like 22 minutes.
They did two of them. They did one just lately, and then one at E3, I think it was. But, like, they were both extended gameplay things. It's just like they took two different parts. The first time you saw it, he went around one way, did it a certain way, and then second time he went another way, and then you get to see the home base, which I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's interesting. And I want to check it out. But I think that one of the coolest things that I didn't remember from the E3 thing was
The cardboard box.
what was that thing called where you after you knock somebody out or you kill a goat or a person and then you attach their body or their car.
What's it called? It's weird. It's like
Yeah.
it's called the Wilson or something weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
like
got a stupid ass name to it. It's weird.
But I saw that and I'm just like, that is so fucking cool. That like, and I love the idea that
Motherfucking moon! Take that, go see you later.
And that's the thing, whatever you nick with that balloon thingy, it's at your home base. So, like, he takes that goat's going to be on the home base somewhere, just wandering around. And,
You can attach it to like a Jeep or something and just send a Jeep back to your home base.
yeah, and, like, you'll have the Jeep, but even, like, the people that you kidnap, like, even though they're against you, once you balloon them out of there, they work for you. I don't know if you have to, like, waterboard them or anything.
It's called
What is,
Fulton.
is this the new employment solution fucking
Fulton.
coalition? Kidnap
I think
people
so.
by a balloon. Work for the government on a Guantanamo Bay style base.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool, though. I'd switch teams if I got hooked up to a balloon, it didn't kill me, and I landed on some fucking oil rig somewhere. And just,
Let me survive this, I swear I'll work for you.
Some sort of repatriation ceremony.
I'd be like, this is the coolest ride ever, man. If I get to do that every day, I will suck your dick. I don't even give a shit. I'll work for you. I'll do whatever. Let me fucking keep on
Right,
chilling out with that
waterboarding,
Fulton thing.
everything else.
I do. I do like the look of it though. I mean, I actually pulled the trigger on the discounted Ground Zeroes the other day, Ron.
Oh yeah,
you'll
would
be
you
pleased to
reckon?
know.
Because I heard that wasn't.
Well, I mean,
It was pretty good.
it was pretty good, but I mean, yeah, it just leaves you kind of thirsting for more. And I kind of rushed through it knowing that, you know, in the back of my mind going, okay, this is like maybe a stage or a level or
Yeah.
a part of the game, and then come to the end of the game and that was the criticism that was leveled at it at the time was, you know, what's the replay factor of this one particular game that they're charging, you know, essentially half of a full price game. And if it hadn't have been discounted, I wouldn't have bought it. So, but it was down to like $20 or something. I thought, oh fuck it, I'll just play it and get
How does he get out?
juices flowing.
See, that's it. The last Metal Gear Solid game I played, I think, was Metal Gear Solid 3. After looking at Metal Gear Solid 4, I was like, you know what? 60 hours of my life is a fair chunk. I'd rather go watch a fucking movie 60 times. But don't get me wrong. Anybody who loves the Hideo Kojima style exposition of a chicken's egg going up into the chicken, which is then born from an egg, which goes back into a chicken. Go for your life. Like, I support you. But fuck me sideways, that guy cannot write. He writes himself into circles and then manages to spiral out of the circle, do a flip, land, and then end up back right in the fucking written circle again. He's done it over 4 or 5 games now. I don't get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Metal Gear
it's
Solid.
impossible to just wrap your mind around the story. And I remember trying to just read like the stories of all of the Metal Gear Solids, just so like get some kind of explanation, or somebody might have like put it together in layman's terms or something like that. But no, they were just as hard to wrap my head around as like playing the games. And I don't know what they're going to do with the new one. I had a headache by the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. But, like, I really enjoyed it, but I was just like, so wait, what? And then, but I did love like you explained the chicken and egg thing. There's apparently all this symbolism in the character Sunny, the kid who's on the plane.
I saw that.
And she always cooks eggs, and they start off really shit, and then she gets better at it. And apparently there's like, you just see it for a second when it introduces what chapter you're up to or whatever, and it's just like there's story that's supposed to explain like the eggs and all that. And like by the end she cracks 2 eggs in, and then they all form to make one big egg or something like that. And I that's when I put my heel through the screen.
No, I get that.
Like that was I liked that. The way it's told, you're right, is kind of insane, just absolutely
Ass
insane.
backwards, yes.
They are fun games though, like I'm not going to shit on that. Like I enjoyed them.
I always feel bad because oh god, this would have been years ago. It would have been a few years ago now. Like at Arnabar, they used to do Yahtzee's trivia nights, and after he'd done about 40 of them or something, he was running. It was just like, I'm writing a book. I'm doing all this stuff. I don't have enough time to be able to make up the questions and the slideshows and everything. Could you help me out? Because he and I usually trade video game trivia and everything when I pop down to the event. So I started writing the trivia quizzes, and I made the mistake of putting a joke question about Metal Gear Solid in there and saying, which of the Metal Gear Solid games has the symbolism represented by this and this and this, and the joke is like, none. It's the worst fucking story ever written. That belongs to Hideo Kojima. I got fucking blamed by patrons at the bar who were just like, it's our favorite game, and and I'm just standing there like,
what were they like again?
That is the sound that I basically heard from about 20 people at the bar that night who didn't agree with the fact that I thought it was a really badly written piece of shit. But I just asked one question and said, have any of you guys read, say, The Heart of Darkness? Oh, no, what's that? Some fucking gay book thing. See, Heart of Darkness is a fucking brilliant book. That is a well-written story that covers off on complex issues that game has failed to hit with a fucking nuclear missile every time it's tried. It is the coalition of the willing of retarded warfare.
I just want to put my hand up and say I have read that book by Joseph Conrad, and it is fantastic.
It
And
is.
if you haven't read it,
Idiot up there.
you've seen Apocalypse Now. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, some of the Heart of Darkness.
Or my honest gaming recommendation of all time, a recommendation from Yahtzee as well, Spec Ops: The Line. You can pick it up for like $10 on Steam, and it is one of the only games that I can honestly say that I've played away from a few others, which makes you feel that you're not a hero. And that's a very hard thing to do in a movie, in a book, in anything else. But that game makes you feel like an absolute cunt by the end.
So you feel like me, basically. Like,
Watch Dogs
me,
kind of had a little bit like that.
Ron Simulator 2014.
2014.
That's right.
Sorry.
No, that was beautiful.
All right. Next,
Yeah, that game is nuts, though.
you wanted another topic, Sir Skills of the Shooter?
The skills. I don't know. Well, Pierce Brosnan is pretty shit at GoldenEye.
Oh, fuck yeah, saw that. And really...
Come on, motherfucker. You gave him your likeness. You can at least be good at the game.
That's it.
I'm sure
cool.
he cashed the 25 grand checks that he got for his likeness with glee.
It's like, oh yes, I used to play this game. I was like, bullshit, mate. You just walked around the corner, didn't even know to pick up a gun. Next thing you know, Jimmy Fallon's just like, oh, I've got to do it. I've got to put you out of your misery. You know, Walther PPK to the face.
Maybe Pierce Brosnan was trying to do it all hardcore and just go for the karate chops. Come on, everybody's tried to go on one of the levels, just karate chopping their way through.
He said it was all about the chops.
Yeah. Try and do the train mission with just karate chops. That one's a motherfucker.
I remember, like, you know, every time you see an actor or actress, like, and they've done something for a video game, and then they always ask, you know, like at Comic-Con and all that kind of shit, like, you play, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, I do. Like, what did you used to play? And they always say, oh, you know, the original Mario Brothers. Like, that's all they got. And then everyone, they're like, oh, come on. And, like, I wish there was a clause in all their contracts. If you're an actor or an actress and you're going to be in a game, you have to be good at it. You have to be good at it.
Played it.
Yeah, like, you like, the usual likeness.
Then you don't let it.
Or like you get access to a special like cheat code that you just enter just before you play. That even if you are terrible, you just go up, down, left, right, A, B, Y, Z. And then go, right, okay, cool. Okay, let's play, shall we? I've only got like 1,000% health, and you're just like, yeah, cool, no worries. Oh, you thought you killed me? I'm afraid not. Sorry. Yeah,
That'd be so good. Because that's the thing, like, Fallon's horrible. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. It's,
as a person?
You're going to start with balance. Go with that.
Yeah, he's horrible. Like, he's horrible at gaming. Like, every time, you know, there's E3 comes, and then every day of his show, so developers come in, they showcase, like, a game every night. And he had a crack at Watch Dogs, and was just fucking horrendous. He played these other games, just fucking horrendous at them all. And so, yeah, because, you know, like, I'm a video gamer, and I really like video games, and I really like playing them. Oh, no, that's awesome. That was the best fucking Jimmy Fallon impression I've ever done.
I'll pay.
That was really good.
I actually thought it was that.
Okay. I will give him. I'll give him an out for being terrible at video games purely because of possibly one of the most humiliating experiences I've had.
Was he there or something?
And Tripod.
Hey?
You guys are familiar with the band Tripod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were doing a performance of like a week or two of Tripod versus the Dragon up in Brisbane, And because they're gamers, they came down to Marnaba. And I was there late one night with my wife and a few others, and we were just hanging around talking with the owners. And Tripod walked in, and we're like, oh, holy fuck. And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, let's get in to play some games. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. We all jumped on Halo and did some System Link multiplayer. And I'm not too bad at Halo, but fuck me, I did not get a single kill.
Wow.
Because I'm standing next to to fucking Gatesy, and I've got Edgar on the other side, and I'm like, you guys are fucking comedy legends. I'm
Oh, let me guess. The whole time you're like, you got the control up here, and like this, the camera is the
trying to screen cheat.
Yeah, well, you know, the camera's the screen, and Gatesy is like to your left. The whole time, instead of looking at the screen, you're just like,
yeah, I was.
I'd probably do the same thing. I'd be touching him, but then like,
Gloriously.
He was like the guys were brilliant. Like they kind of like at the end of the match, like 2 kills, 15 deaths, and I think we only won by 1 flag capture because they were absolutely ripping it up. And I kind of went, you know, sorry I let the team down there, and they're like, oh, you know, it's okay. I'm just like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm such a big fan of you guys, so I was feeling a bit nervous, and like, oh, come on, we've all choked under pressure, and it's like, yeah, but I'm still nervous. I don't know. I just get nervous when there's kind of famous people around. You know, just it's really weird. It throws you. So,
especially when it's people that you do like or have admiration for.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I mean, Ben and I experienced it a few months back, and it was kind of like, I admire you, and you just also happen to be female and hot.
oh, is this? Well, we're back to the stalky comments again. Oh man, I love these.
I'm drawing a parallel to Alex's story and how I sympathise with it.
Who did you meet?
We met.
No, please.
That's all that was going through you and Ben's head when you were like.
We were at the Timefall event back in March, and I think I managed to cross a few people off the list. So I met Hex, met Jess McDonald, met Zoreen, met I think a few months before that we met Ray Johnston.
Hex is lovely. She stole my phone at the Marnaba launch. She stole my phone and my camera. She returned them ultimately, but she took some. I think I've actually got them. I'll send them through to you after the episode. But she took these really brilliant photos from inside the bar.
Oh man, you know what I thought you were going to say? I thought you were going to say she took your camera and went to the toilet, took some really flattering photos, and then came back and said, "This is for you."
No.
I know you're married.
I was 3 weeks later, incidentally.
No, but the funny thing is exactly that experience is like, you know that they put their pants on one leg at a time kind of thing, but you can't help but feel a little bit of, shock and awe at the fact that you're sharing the same set of, floorboards with them at the time. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
He's just in one giant, 2-person set of pants.
The clown
Hamish
pants.
style. No, but that's it. It's always a very kind of unnerving element to meet somebody who you admire. Like Oz Comic Con is going to be up here in Brisbane in September, and Jim Cummings and Bill Farmer are going to be there. And Jim Cummings is the voice of Tigger and Shay Khan and Winnie the Pooh and all of these childhood, voices that I grew up on. Yeah. And right now I'm in the process of trying to get media passes and hopefully be able to interview them. But I'm nervous about meeting them because I grew up listening to their voices. They were the voices in the cartoons and everything. That's
Yeah, I love Winnie the Shit.
yeah. That scares me more than anything else.
Oh, Ben gets it like 2 minutes later. But no, that would be daunting. Like, yeah, a voice that you grew up with.
It's kind of like meeting comedians. Like you instantly feel the need to be as funny as them, or just like pull out your best material.
That implies
All my
that
friends say I'm
you're
funny.
It's kind of like, hey, how you going? Like, if you, I mean, I was probably 8 or 9 years of age when I was living in the UK, and I was in the McDonald's at Windsor, next to Windsor Castle, and Billy Connolly walked in, and I knew at the age of 8, I knew who that was purely based on how much I'd watched his comedy, and this is at the age of 8. And it was so silly, but I knew that it would take a fairly strange 8-year-old to walk up to him and go, "Hi, I really like your work. Can I get your autograph?" kind of thing. Because he'd be like, "Who the fuck's your parents?" Yeah, it'd be like, what kind of parents let you watch my material? But
That's
Actually, no. I will say I have had the fleeting pleasure of meeting Billy Connolly.
yeah,
In 2006. Yes.
he did a world tour of Australia back then, I think.
Yeah, 2006. My girlfriend at the time actually bought tickets, and we flew down to Sydney to see him because we couldn't get tickets to see him in Brisbane. And because I was a smoker and she wasn't, like, after the event, we kind of chilled out and everything. She went to bed, and I was still just hyped because I'd just seen him perform stand-up comedy that night. So that was kind of like a life dream for me. So I just went on a walk through Darling Harbour, and he was walking back from back through
From the Opera
Darling
House?
Harbour, obviously, to his hotel.
Oh, right.
And I just went, oh, and he's walking past, and he'd done like a 2.5-hour show, and was just kind of happily bopping along, and I just went, "Hey, Billy, just saw you tonight. That was fucking brilliant. Thanks. That was a life dream you've helped me." And he just went, "That's a fucking depressing life dream you've got." Like, oh my god! But he then kind of stopped and just went, "Oh, I'm glad you love the show and everything. It's really nice to know that that I'm still relevant to the young ones like yourself." And I said, "Oh, my parents played your records for me when I was like 8 years old." And he was like, "Oh, see, that's what I
You've got
love."
some fucked up parents right there.
Oh, trust me. It's actually, that is one thing we're going to try and do on OI, is that I want to do a podcast with each of us bringing along one parent, because I know it'd be an entire episode of us trying to talk about our normal stuff, intermittent with smacks up the back of the head from a parent being like, "Don't say that."
This is disgusting. I raised you better than that. Bang, slap, bang.
If I did that with my mum, I wouldn't say a fucking word.
Neither.
If I had to crack,
On your piece.
masturbation jokes like while she's sitting next to me, I just don't actually think my tongue would work at all. It would shut down, and she would probably just look into the camera and, like, I don't know, check her mail or something. But yeah,
Everyone's got that swear filter that happens. It gets triggered as soon as you walk through that door. That switch filter just goes click off. Oh damn! I meant to say sugar instead of shit. Oh dear. Fudge.
I'll swear a lot. Like, everyone in my family's kind of used to me swearing. Like all the fellow kids that, like, if I go up to Blacktown and that, I swear and smoke right in front of them, and I'm blowing smoke in their faces. But like they know I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just kind of like, what? Yeah, hey, high five. Yeah. Get your uncle a fucking beer, you little shit. Like nothing like that. It's just, well, yeah, hello, how you going? All right, fuck off now. But yeah, I just swear at them, and I don't get them gifts.
See,
especially if it's their birthdays.
my parents actually watch all of the OI stuff. They listen to the podcast and they watch the videos.
That's awesome.
The funniest part was my dad SMSing me after we released part 2 of GTA 5, where Beeves and Griff just stirred Cortal up, so much that he just went on a fucking rampage. And I got a message from my dad, like, I think about 6 or 7 hours after I'd uploaded the video when we released it. And he was just like, you turned Corthel into Hans Gruber. Good job.
But what were they shit-stirring him, though?
Oh,
Just shits and giggles?
oh yeah. Like, Corthel is one of the funniest people you will ever see angry. Because he loses all sense of responsibility, brain-to-mouth filter, and you can't help but to laugh at him whenever he's angry.
Does he hit anything? Does he break things?
No, like he is not outwardly violent in any way. He just gets really fucking irritated in games. So it's like you've got your own bear, your own personal angry bear, that if you poke it, it's tranquilized enough that it's going to make a fuckload of noise, but it's never going to, it's never going to grab you by the throat and rip it out. Beeves, on the other hand,
mix to have.
yeah, Beeves, on the other hand, you irritate him when he is not in the mood, and
He breaks your Xbox.
no, he more eviscerates. He just destroys everything. There is not anything left. Everything is wiped out, and
Your whole podcast is filled with like guys who need what's that word? Therapy.
yeah, but the moment that we get them therapy, they'd become well-adjusted members of society. And who the
You're
fuck
right.
wants
You don't
to
get
do that?
that. You're right. Forget that. Forget I said it.
Where would Skeelsy be if we didn't have you guys?
That's it. It's everyone needs the positive to the negative. It's like Neo and Agent Smith. You got to bring things
I'm
back
back, Agent Smith.
into equilibrium.
Oh yeah, Feels. How do you feel with Bungie announcing that Destiny has gone gold?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I said it in a podcast a few weeks back, in how this game, despite its massive budget and marketing sort of marketing hype, it was a game that kind of snuck up on me. In that I was probably caught up in the Titanfallness and a few other previous titles and stuff. But as soon as I played the beta, I was kind of annoyed at myself for like not having this on my radar as much as what I wanted it to. But also happy because it meant I didn't have to wait as long. So I've got my White Destiny pre-order coming to me in the next couple of weeks, so I'll be getting stuck into that. But yeah, I mean that's not surprising. It's a really good game, and a lot of the fundamentals that made Halo such a success, I think, have been well and truly used as foundations for this game, because it does have a very Halo kind of polish to it, even though the mechanics are largely similar. All the other elements I just got thoroughly absorbed into.
I will admit I'm the same as you. I got pulled in by the beta. Like I loaded up the beta when they announced it as free for Xbox Live Gold. And I went, oh, you know what? I'll give it a shot. My wife put it on to download while I was at work. Got home, played it for a couple of hours, and really enjoyed it. You're definitely right. It has that Halo mechanic. It's very polished. It's very easy to play. But it feels like it has a level of depth and complexity and weapon choice, armor, everything else like that. I'm gonna hold off. I know Griff and Korth have pre-orders, so they'll be playing it. But I'm gonna hold off and wait to see how much of the game there is to actually play.
Well, that was one of the things. Apparently, there's different planets, and the enemies are going to be a bit different as well on the different planets. So it could be quite massive, but depending on how it is, it could also be, there's just a couple of missions on each planet, and then you're done.
I think they've been smart about it in that they've kind of showed bite-sized samples of what you can expect. I mean, and if you thought that various things when you were playing on, old Russia missions on just the planet Earth was enough to sort of whet your appetite, then you know that you've at least got, 9 or 10 other planets to kind of have your way with,
But
on top of community events and PvP.
Isn't there 4 planets? Like it's Earth, Venus, Mars, and the Moon.
Mars and the Moon.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
that's.
I think
I
that's all
think they were indicating that maybe there would be DLCs of different planets.
that's more what I'm concerned about with it as a title, is that like I know that there's a love for COD here, but Activision as a company, they're very, very well known for nickel and diming, and that's one aspect I don't really like about gaming at the moment.
No.
When DLC is kind of worth it, you pay your money and you get a good chunk from it, and there's little extras here and there, then I'm pretty happy. I'm happy to pay an extra $5 if I feel like I've gotten $90 worth of the game. I'm happy to pay $5 extra for a little bit more. But if it feels like you only get these 4 planets or these 4 areas, all of the missions around it, and then you want the missions for Jupiter, then you have to pay an extra $5, or you have to have a subscription to this. It tends to take that shine off it.
It does. It is kind of worrying, and unfortunately not enough people vote with their wallets to make it seem like this is something that the industry, well, the public as a whole has a huge issue with. The people that are vocal about it are, quite vocal, and thankfully a lot of it comes from a media side of things. It's not just people that, are like you and me that just tend to voice our opinions on a podcast on a weekly basis kind of thing. It's actually, thankfully, being represented by a lot of media streams going, yeah, this is kind of dodgy. Especially when you see, the lawsuits come through from games like Colonial Marines, where games are being completely misrepresented, in terms of beta footage or games being shown on a source engine that isn't indicative of what you will expect on your console. So, as a sort of staunch Call of Duty tragic, I think the best model was to be, very, very upfront with it and say, look, here's your core game. If you're a multiplayer, you'll have the full complement of things to at least sink your teeth into for a good portion of the game, and then we'll release map packs and stuff like that. But yeah, if it's going to walk that line of four planets, and then you go, okay, well, no, there's more than 4 planets in the solar system. You can expect a map called Titan or something, or
Europa.
I'd love to. I can't wait for the Uranus map. That's going to be awesome.
It's that field of things we talked about.
I heard it's going to be shit though.
That's
I just, without sounding too naive sort of thing, I just have a weird feeling that with Destiny, when it's launched for like the first maybe like 2 months, it's going to be really big, and then kind of like how Titanfall went.
I was going to say a curse to Titanfall.
Yeah.
It just went and Titanfall, yeah, like it's a mad fun game. But then you kind of realize, wait, hold on, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again here, which, yeah, Destiny really shouldn't be like that. But then, when you played Borderlands or whatever, yeah, like that was mad fun. But then after 2 months, you kind of stopped playing, even when you were playing with other people or whatever. I just have a weird feeling that it's just going to be like another Titanfall where, yeah, massive and then nothing. And I hope it's not, because
I don't think it will be.
A shitload of money on it.
I don't think it will be. I think that the thing that differentiated Titanfall was the fact that there wasn't, well, A, it was bots, B, it wasn't deep enough, and that's largely attributed to campaign. So I think the campaign aspect and just the sheer size and scale that we've been led to believe Destiny is all about, I think it kind of gets around that. But yeah, the biggest things will come down to PvP, I think, as well.
Yeah, and it just depends what sort of what they're aiming for. They're aiming for like long-term gaming or what? Because if they're going for long-term, I can't see people playing it for that much, because they're saying, MMO and all this sort of stuff, and really, it's not.
One game that I've found recently, like in the last year, which I think has done the DLC right, has done the gameplay right, and has actually kind of not kept itself too limited, was Payday 2. In the base game was like $30 Australian. That's fucking cheap.
Mm.
And it
I believe I bought it, yeah.
yeah, 12 variants of missions, and then all of the DLC has been $2-3 for the weapons and packages. But then I think they've released 6 or 7 missions, 4 of which have been free, and even now, because of people joining the Payday group on Steam, they have their crime wave promotion, which is get people to join the group on Steam, and you unlock different rewards. So now they're going to have the original Hoxton from Payday 1 as a playable character, and they're going to release the Hoxton's Breakout Heist as a free piece of DLC instead of it being paid. That just coming from the fans and getting the fans excited about it, and their big bank heists and so many other different types of missions where they've gone, you can go loud, you can go quiet, giving people options as to how they play, changing up the gameplay in the way that the community responds. So the community asked for a completely stealth-based mission, so they got the Shadow Heist. They wanted a big, kind of bold, awesome, bank-style heist, so they got the big bank heist, where it's a good 20 minutes to get through. These options, these things come from the developer being upfront with the community. I'm hoping that's where Bungie goes, but with Activision behind them as a publisher, they're the guys with their hands on the wallet.
It's kind of like a fire and ice situation, isn't it? It's like you look at the track record of Halo and how much of a foundational game that was, both in terms of a killer campaign and campaigns over the course of the Halo franchise, as well as I suppose the Halo multiplayer is still alive and well, obviously, and
And look,
whether or not they decide to follow that through, or at least try to build a similar kind of community if it plays largely the same. I can see that being a thing, in the same way that Call of Duty, you've got two or three very defined camps of multiplayer. You've got your Counter Strikes, you've got your Call of Duties, and you've got your Halo people, all with 3 different varying different mechanics, but still with a large community behind them. So I'd like to think Bungie wouldn't be too much of a pushover, but sort of staying true to say, look, guys, we got this. We know what we're fucking doing. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Activision games, Call of Duty games, don't tend to do as good as what Treyarch games or games like that.
I would say that, yeah. It's actually been interesting to see that the publishers are starting to lose their control over the marketplace. It's no longer the publishers who decide what they're going to put out there. They trust the developers to listen to the community. The community tells the developers, they make it. The developers are really the ones who put the PR out there in the best way possible. I think PAX Oz is going to be one of those brilliant examples where you get to see, instead of the publishers there representing the games, you actually get to see the developers talking about the games, showing them off. And that's where people get really excited. Like, half of PAX Oz for me is not going to be talking to developers. It's going to be talking with the fans. And, see if people want to talk after trying out this game and be like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what excites you? That's how half these companies continue to this day, is that COD would not be the force it is today if they didn't listen to the community and go, we want these options. Not everybody wants them, but make them options. And they did it with COD 4. They changed it up and said, tell us what you think. They responded. And then COD 4's multiplayer was the one that really just launched into the stratosphere.
I think that's what they've been trying. I mean, we covered it off a little bit last week in that in their heart of hearts, I'm sure they think they're getting back to they were getting back to a very COD 4 multiplayer model with Ghost, because Ghost was just a complete abortion of a multiplayer game, in that they tried to simplify things almost too much. And I guess to try and make up for that, it goes back to what you're saying about giving people the options, is they've started doing the whole remastered maps from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, like a game from 3 or 4 years ago, which are known to be... Well, yeah, it was Ghost last year, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1.
Oh, God.
Modern Warfare 2. So, I mean, to me, it just smacks of lazy programming. It probably wouldn't take too much to take an existing map, polish a turd, so to speak, and they're bringing back the great maps from previous games, which, you know, I suppose if you look at it on the face of it, are considered options. And it's like, oh, great! Isn't it great that, you know, this game that's supposedly next gen is now taking a polish to Favela or Terminal or whatever.
Yeah. I want to see that airport HD.
I want to see those. I want to hear those aircraft security buzzers go off in, you know, true Dolby Digital.
Surround sound.
7.1. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just hoping they won't screw it up. I mean, I was in the market for a PS4. It just happens to be white, so it's limited edition. And if Destiny...
White.
It's white, yeah. Because I'm racist like that.
And if Destiny proves to be a polished turd, then you're going to sell it on eBay.
Well, I'll still have a white PS4 at the end of it, so...
And guess what? You can play The Last of Us in HD.
Well, I am...
That's about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Secretly-
having a PS4 for that.
Secretly, I'm actually quite looking forward to buying that in the same transaction.
Really good game.
No good? Yes,
You know,
no?
I'm not... I've already destroyed Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm not going to go through The Last of Us.
Good. No spoilers. No spoilers.
I wasn't going to spoil it.
It was going to crush it.
Yeah. It's going to crush it with my boots.
All right.
Turns
Well,
out it's all a dream.
the what?
Turns out it's all a dream. That's your spoiler.
Yeah. He sees dead people. I see dead people.
On dreams. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the square-jawed manly man,
Yeah.
Yes.
has announced that he's working on a feature adaptation of Sandman, the Neil Gaiman
That's right. Yeah.
Gaiman series.
Really interesting.
He's apparently working on it with the creative designers and directors behind The Dark Knight.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Yeah,
that sounds like it would be quite faithful.
Yeah, and considering he's wanting to do what he calls a faithful translation, where it doesn't take everything word for word, frame for frame, but he's wanting to capture that right feel. And I don't know if any of you guys have read the Sandman comics, but
Yeah.
they're brilliant. The design and
That-
style in it is phenomenal.
It sounds like it would be incredibly tough to create that, because these are like dreamscapes that, you know, that nothing's natural about them. You know what I mean? Like if anybody's read them and you see, like they're not even easy to describe. Like it's just it's like a dream, you know. Not like Inception style dream. It's like, well, I mean, you know, that's the name of
It's like
Sandman.
what dreams may come. Not to invoke the ghost of Robin Williams early, but that movie had in itself the right sensibility behind it, which would have made it, you know, it made a really visually amazing movie. But yeah, I think, you know, I'm kind of hopeful. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited for that, and I'm glad that Neil Gaiman's getting a better adaptation than because I hated Stardust and Mirror Mask. I didn't like those.
Yeah, I wasn't such a big
I was like, you're trying, but it's not that good. Because I mean, there's that. There's also American Gods, which apparently Tom Hanks is interested in, and but that's been sitting in developmental hell for like years now. But it's because they wanted to turn that into an HBO series.
See, that
and,
was...
which I think is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Although, in other movie news, apparently Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright are reuniting to work on something.
Awesome.
Like,
That's good.
kind of paraphrasing it here as best as I can, but he said that he and Edgar were having a conversation, and they've kind of worked out a title, ideas, the kind of creatives behind an idea of a movie. But they've said that the original kind of Blood and Cornetto trilogy is over.
Yeah.
But they've got an idea for another few movies that they may want to tackle.
Is Nick Frost going to be a part of these at all?
Yeah, Nick Frost. Apparently, the team is back together and working on stuff. So.
Yeah, Roy.
Fun fact, he was born and raised in a town 2 miles from where I was born and raised.
Wow.
And that's where that's where World's End's filmed, in
Where were you born and
Letchworth. I
Was it West
Do
Philadelphia?
they have all those parts
West
in that?
Philadelphia. Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't all like I mean, I spent on the playgrounds where I spent most of my days, I suppose. But
Chilling,
Chilling,
relaxing.
just maxing and relaxing. It's all cool.
We should
Make some people outside of the school.
Don't hum another bar of it, or else we have to pay Will Smith royalties.
Copyright strike.
Krusty singing that song. This is what a nice guy, what a hell of a guy, and this song goes out to... Okay, stop the song. If we have to sing another line, we have to pay them royalties. Yeah, fucking brilliant. Fucking love that.
What say we get stuck into what I think might be the last couple of topics for the evening?
Shoot.
What game have you got complete completionist syndrome over? To the point where you would like literally go, you know what, I'd love to do this. I'd love to go out and see sunlight and breathe fresh air. But then go, fuck it, I'm going to keep going on this game.
Is it like,
Borderlands.
when you say completionist, do you mean like getting 100% with the achievements, or do you just mean like you're just obsessed with it?
I will take your first opinion on that.
Oh, achievements.
Yes. Like fetch quests, achievement hunters.
I like the story. Once the story's finished, I'm like, awesome. I might fuck around with it a little bit more, and I'll hunt down a couple of the other achievements, like the funny ones or the stupid ones, and then I'm like, all right, cool, on to the next. But
So Red Dead, you did campaign, that's it.
no, Red Dead, like all the side quests I did do as well, because I was just in love with that whole world, like that, and Skyrim, the like in Fallout, that like even Watch Dogs, but I'm not out there just to hunt down all the achievements. I just want to stay in that world. Oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 as well. All like the side quests. I loved all those little the strangers and the freaks. You know, they were really really cool. I really enjoyed those. But not to get achievements though, just to enjoy more of the space that I'm in at that time. So that's a bunch. That's my handful. If it's really linear, if it's like Max Payne 3, like that's just the story. Finished.
Yeah, all the Max Payne games.
Yeah. They're enjoyable, but you know, like I'm not
After
gonna
you finish.
achievement hunt.
There's only so many times that you can dive through the air and find it interesting.
Yeah.
In
I
slow
still
motion.
loved it. Yeah, what are yours?
One day he's gonna fall on his fucking car keys and shatter his hip.
Yeah, he's like pushing 60, isn't he? He's like a fucking...
With the amount of times he's almost been killed.
Come on, Bruce Willis is still doing Die Hard movies.
Yeah, like I'm sure it wouldn't be him doing all these stunts. I'd be impressed if it was, but I so doubt it. Well, did you guys see that interview that he did for Red 2? And somebody, like one of the interviewers, like he's doing it with the girl who plays his wife in the movie, And
are we on this topic now, are we?
just for a split second, like, what, do you know this one?
No.
Gav?
No, I don't. No, go.
No shit. But the thing is, like, he gets, they're talking about animes, and then she's like agreeing with the interviewer, saying like, oh, I like those animes, those are really cool, and then he just goes, what about this other movie that has nothing to do with anime? So just like how I brought that topic up, it had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
I
Get
sympathise.
it?
Okay. Completionist.
Yeah.
There's only one game that I've ever done it with, but it was purely as a test to myself. This was before achievements. Splinter Cell 1 for the Xbox. I wanted to get through that game without using my gun unless it was absolutely necessary, such as, I think it was, there's one guy you can only kill if, I think it's the main villain of the game, Nicholas. You cannot get up to him and kill him hand to hand. You can only...
Yeah.
So I went through the game without a single detection, with only pacifying all enemies and only killing the guys I had to. I am very sad, and
No, I mean, it's almost worth me wrapping up the podcast and firing up, Splinter Cell right now to see if I can do the same thing with. I love my Splinter Cell. No, it just the question came to me today when I was playing Batman Arkham Origins, and it kind of struck me that I hadn't applied the same level of completionist syndrome to that game than what I did with Origins, or insert game title here. I'd gone through a fair chunk of all the side stuff and little missions for Watch Dogs, and I've done it for like a handful of other games, but it was like I felt consumed, and that was kind of what I was doing before we got started on the podcast. I had a spare literally 10 minutes, and I'm like, I'm going to go back into Batman and see if I can find some more of these data packs or extortion files or things that help me unlock the next thing that I have to do. And it was almost like, I imagine what a junkie goes through. It's like, oh, I'll just get this 10 minute hit before I have to do the next thing for my day kind of thing.
Quick, get it in my veins.
That's it, straight to the vein, baby.
But the Batman games were good for that though, because it had, pretty good story, but it just had so much side mission stuff for
Arkham City
tokens, or it just had so much in there that it did have that replay ability. You could do the story just because you wanted the story, and then you go back, find all the symbols, find the Riddler stuff. It was really good like that, actually.
Those little trophies, they drove me insane in Arkham City. That is fucking chock filled with all those little you can't get that bat hook thing, swing across like a little bit through the city without knowing there's 20 things just around you. But so I was obsessed with those, but they got really hard. The trophies got too hard, and I just fucking quit. So
yeah, especially because you can't get it without some equipment. And you spend hours trying to get it, you give up, you go to the next stage and you get the equipment, and you're like,
Yeah.
I might do this again.
Benny, any thoughts?
Yeah, I probably chose the worst game in history to be the achievement hunter on, but back in the day with World of Warcraft, and just every single area,
Have
the
you
achievements.
have you got the Lawmaster achievement?
Lawmaster.
Yes.
I don't play anymore, so
Okay.
I've been on the trial account with WildStar this week, and it's actually really fun, but no one fucking plays. And then I was talking to Corfu about it, and I was just I'm like, do you play? And he's like, no, I don't play anymore. I guess I've gone back to World of Warcraft because no one fucking plays anymore. So I'm just like, I really don't want to go back, but it's just
They're getting ready for Warlords of Draenor.
Draenor, yeah. I saw like the clip for it, and like I really don't want to go back, but like that clip, the trailer
That
for
was
it was like such a G up, and I was like, fuck, like it's so old the game, but it's like not like I kind of want to go back, and the Blizzard's like sending me email saying, well, you know, if you come back, we'll give you Mists of Pandaria or whatever for free and all this sort of shit, and I'm just like, do I?
Would you
I, mean,
want to
I played way back in the day from like Vanilla WoW, like just after it launched, and just I had shit on my server that like no one else had. I owned like some of the stuff like in the auction houses, like I think it's the Lotus Flowers or whatever. Just I had like a racket on those. If you needed one, I was like the only one that had them. I had
fucking dealer.
Like,
I'm a dealer.
yeah. It was just crazy, and yeah, we had fuck those days were the best. That was so much fun those days, and like
Summer of
yeah.
'69, yeah.
Fucking A. But yeah, just the achievements on that, just super random items, like mega rare items. Like at one stage, like my World of Warcraft account was worth like over $500,000 sort of thing, just with the shit that I had on there. And you know, in hindsight, I should have sold it. I could have started from scratch again. But
My wife, she has the Lore Master achievement, which is every book in the game read and every one of the missions, like every quest that you can do in the game, she has done.
Wow.
Vanilla, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, and Mists of Pandaria. She's got her achievements. Her account is crazy. And I gave up after Cataclysm came out. I was just like, you know what? I've got better shit to do.
I've got better shit. Yeah.
And
That's
this
the
is
thing.
life.
Yeah, you realise you're doing the same thing. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, Wednesday night, raid night, you know, start.
Did you
like,
say raid night?
Raid night.
Oh, fuck.
I think it was like Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays we used to do it. And I think optional on Sunday night. And yeah, and then you're just like, fuck, I'm doing the same thing. Shoulders didn't drop tonight and all this sort of crap. It's just like, do you get my shit?
Sweet.
Your wife sounds interesting though, Crow. I'll give you that. It sounds like you've married into something quite special there.
Oh,
The keeper.
oh dude, trust me.
He married her for a WoW account. That's the only reason.
Is that in the prenup or?
No, she keeps the WoW account. I fucking keep it away from me. I will admit, like, my wife Beck is basically like the de facto producer of Over Indulgence. She does, like, she organizes stuff for us, and she gets to play more games than I do. I'm not kidding. She's got, I think she's got.
I'll get her on next week. Hang on. What's her phone number?
All the stories will come out. No, I don't get to play many games because I try and edit so much, and I've got all these things to do. But Beck basically plays through games for me, and she is one of the few people that I've met that just seems to look at a game and is like, how can I exploit this? Beeves is another. They'll look at how a game works for XP, how to gain levels. They'll work it out, spreadsheet the motherfucker,
Damn.
and then apply it. They worked out how to get a character from level 1 to level 60 in Diablo 3 inside 2 hours.
Nice.
And then ran Beeves through so that he could get 3 character classes that he hadn't leveled yet up to level 60. And he did that in one night. I woke up Monday morning at 4:30 in the morning to head to work, and my wife's like, oh yeah, we got Beeves 3 level 60s. I'm like, the fuck? The bitch is just, oh yeah, we just worked out and did this, and this. And I'm like,
That's genius.
If you put your mind to it, you'd be a fucking evil genius. And she was.
I could live in a mountain with a skull on it. That'd be fantastic.
But you know, it's that and an absolutely brilliant rack that I married. And with that comment,
All right. Pictures.
Well, that shit just turned creepy thanks to Ron. Anyway, do we want to talk about this good game top 100 and how much of a awesome / awful / abortion.
13-year-olds.
I
13-year-old.
would be,
It's voted in, and there are things in there that I'm like, how, why? But
What sticks
there
out
are
for
some.
you?
Oh, well, what did you guys vote for? Do you guys have your list with you? I have mine.
That's like.
Did you guys even vote?
I didn't vote.
I
I was going to compare it to the top 10 lists that we all brought up.
But this was only 3 that you could choose, though.
Sorry, 3.
Yeah, only 3. You could only choose 3 games.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like when you were voting.
of all
So,
time.
like, you really had to think, yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing, for all time, like, when they hit, like, what, number 100 with Super Mario Brothers, like the original, I'm like, okay, straight away when that was announced, I'm like, oh, man, a bunch of kids.
It didn't bode well, did it?
Yeah, I was just like, that was like, it's definitely 10-year-olds who were voting this shit in.
See, I could easily say my top 3 right now would be Silent Hill 2, Splinter Cell, the original, or Splinter Cell, the original, or Chaos Theory, and then number 1 would be Spec Ops: The Line. They're my 3 games of all time.
I'm pretty sure the line is in there somewhere. But
Yeah, that is in there, yeah.
would it come in as?
Spec Ops
The other
came
two.
in at. I just saw it before. Maybe I was
Control F that motherfucker.
Yeah, I should do. I'm just cautious about controlling anything right now. I'm screen capping.
That's the thing. Like, yeah. Do you guys remember what your top 10 lists were? That we.
From a while back. Shit.
Yeah, when we mentioned our top 10s, like, because that was our top 10s of all time, and I've spotted a handful of mine, not all of them, but a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Batman games are in
Further
there.
back.
Yeah, Asylum and City is really close to the top. Yeah, it's at number 12.
But that's okay.
Because that's the best one.
City was the best one.
No,
Yeah,
I
City.
have to go Asylum.
They put Fallout 3 up the top. Fallout 2 should be up the top.
Yeah, well, that's what I voted for. I voted for Fallout 2, Papers, Please, and Wolfenstein 3D.
Where's
So it's
2?
just covered like a spectrum.
Vegas is there.
That covers off on a pretty good spectrum of games, though. But I suppose one thing, like, I didn't vote on it, I didn't know about it. But with a good game as well, it is, as much as it is targeted at the general gaming audience, the audience that does kind of really get into it, including it as well, Good Game Spawn Point, is that there are younger
demographic.
viewers. Yeah, so... But
I'm surprised Ocarina of Time is... Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, that's the thing. There's games like Ocarina of Time that I just...
Our age.
I was never... I never had a 64 at that point, so I was like, I never played it. And to go back to it now, I'm never going to sit in the same light that other people did, so...
I mean, I remember putting Mega Drive games on my top 10, I think, at one stage. You were giving serious consideration to doing so. I was like, you know what?
It was RoboCop versus Terminator, wasn't it?
No, it was probably games like
Jurassic Park.
Thunder Force 4 or Desert Strike or something. Like, Desert Strike was a great game.
Yeah, Desert Strike 2, Return to Iraq.
That was going to be like a $6 rental, like, week after week after week. I probably burnt a new solenoid onto that game with the amount of heat passing through that thing. I mean, it's good to see there's some foundational games in there that, you know, really were probably voted in by people like us, I suppose people in the know. The Red Deads, the GTAs, the City, GoldenEye, number 13.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch there. I was surprised Half-Life right after that 14, and I'm like, oh, I thought that'd go higher for like of all time, only because of the effect it had on so many people. But you know,
Half-Life 1.
Yeah, Half-Life 1 I still think is like
that's
catching up with a friend, actually playing back through Half-Life 1. If you discount the graphics, and like if you don't go through like the Black Mesa mod, but just go through the game itself, it holds up.
It's a really good game.
Yeah, as a storytelling element, it's one of the best. It's one of those first games that actually embraced the idea of the thing that we had when we were little kids, when we played games, when we went, oh my god, this is me, even though you're playing Wolverine on the screen, you're like, yeah, that's me, I'm slicing him up, snick, snick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we did as kids, and that was one of the first games that really embraced it and told a story that...
Like, it was an innovator.
Yeah.
And that's why I hold it in high regard. Like, I think it did definitely make my top 10, because that, like, yeah, the idea of the cinematic being what you're looking at. You choose where to look when some explosion's happening over on this side. You know, like obviously they wanted you to look at it.
Outside, us talking, and you just walk down the corridor.
Yeah.
You just,
And
have fun with security guards, bye.
Exactly.
Scientists.
The greatest thing, like, about Half-Life, I loved how, like, it's linear, and, like, I don't like linear anymore, but, like, I'll still play some linear games, but it didn't feel like the world building was great. So, like, it felt like a full, like, area, like you could just, like, break through the window and just jump on the other side, and you can go on for miles, but it wasn't. But, like, it felt like it was a fully realized sandboxy kind of thing, even though it wasn't. Like, I love that, and it's
very
fucking
hard.
brilliant.
Like, it's very hard to have a game where it's a linear progression element throughout, you know, levels that are made up, but it's very hard to make it feel as if it's really a world, and you're not on a guided tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Half-Life 2 did that fucking perfectly.
yeah,
They're
like,
fucking genius.
yeah, and I think, you know, Korth and Beefs give me shit for liking zombie games, but Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 did an even better job in telling the story of a place, of people there, of what has happened, without ever telling you exactly in words what had happened. They used the graffiti really well, you know, boards that are laid across from rooftop to rooftop tell you that somebody else has been there.
Yeah,
And
that's so perfect, hey.
And that's one thing that Half-Life 2 did really well, was it showed you this path through the world, and it gave you little hints as to why it happened, how it happened. And you get to make it up in your own head. You're like, this dude was running away because he had possession of child pornography, and he was running through the sewers. A bull squid got him, and...
That sounds like Ron's Saturday night.
on the run from the cops.
With child pornography.
Yeah. No, I've kidnapped a child.
You know what I call that? I call that Tuesday.
Only 2 days from now, lock them up. Lock them up.
Man, that's nasty.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what type of Half-Life did you have with the child pornography guy? Was that like a downloadable thing? Because I don't think I ever saw that.
No. This was just all in my palace of imagination, as it were.
And you went there.
Oh, you know, the dude was absolutely, you know, you found the body, it wasn't a body, it was fucking Gibbs. So somebody really fucking hated him. So I figured it was just, you know, some citizen just chased him down there and beat him to death with a crowbar.
Protective father.
Yeah. You know, god damn him and his ability to, you know, to hold somebody responsible for having child pornography. Oh, how bad.
Well, there are no child pornography games on the list either.
Which, in all honesty, considering the market, is a good thing.
Most of those are
Yeah, let's not
Japanese
get
games.
too dark here, Ron. I don't want to get age-gated on YouTube. Thanks for that.
Hey, you guys want to bring it up? I'm going to bring my A game, okay?
I said nothing. Change topics.
Did you?
New topic,
That sounds
please.
like-
Someone.
I
Rescue.
know. Oh yeah, here's a mad one. Number one on the good games list was Skyrim, and I agree with that. But I didn't
Morrowind.
think it was. Huh?
I'm sorry. Morrowind, in my mind.
Morrowind's there, but that's at 36.
Yeah.
But you can
I
answer
think
the
I-
poll on the right-hand side. The right-hand side gives you a radio button list of 4 options, one of which was, what do you think? Worthy, I didn't vote for it, but I agree it's exceptional. 2 are terrible choice, Australia. 3 was awesome. I voted for it. And number 4, it should have been Morrowind.
Yeah. See, but that's it. Morrowind was a game that I remember in 1999 when it came out. That was one of the first big 3D RPGs that actually gave you a world. It wasn't just, as we were talking about with Half-Life, that gave you the sense of a world. This motherfucker gave you a world.
Yeah.
And
A whole new world,
nobody
a
had
new fantastic point of view.
run it. Yeah, nobody had a computer which could run Morrowind at greater than 1024 by 768. You know, computers that powerful or that not reliant on bug crashes wouldn't come out for another 3 or 4 years, but it did revolutionize how gaming was really looked at. That you could tell a deep personal story from every person's perspective and let a motherfucker run out into the middle of nowhere chased by 1,001 cliff racers until he finally gets inside the walls of Balmora and the guards will help him beat the fucking flying rats to death. Again, my own experience.
I was going to say, I must have missed that. And by that, I mean the entire game, because I haven't played it.
You're just not playing it right.
Flames.
It's well worth playing if you get the Morrowind graphics extender, which is a brilliant mod done by the community. It updates the game with the latest pixel shaders. It puts every great effect that's in graphics today into the Morrowind engine, and it will test the computer the way Crysis does, and it gives you the same base game, but just makes it look like something that would have come out a year ago.
That's pretty cool. I like those. Like the Black Mesa mod for Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Those guys. Yeah. Not for Half-Life 2, for Half-Life, the first one.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of said purchases, Borderlands 2 is free on Steam this weekend. And I plonked down 14.99 of my finest dollars. I'm going to give Counter-Strike a go. I know I'm going to get beasted. I'm going to get absolutely fucking wrecked on it.
More offensive?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I played too. Let's play.
Boom, done. That was episode 34.
Wow.
Fuck off, everyone. We're playing together.
Me and Ben need some alone time now.
That's all right, baby, as long as I can watch.
So
you guys just
busily-
tweet nothings in ears.
I'm just scouring YouTube for hints and tips and stuff because I'm going to be that one idiot and going, my ADS isn't working.
It takes a bit. Once you go to like a private match, figure out what rifle you're going to use, like the most common one, like an AK or something, and then you shoot a wall, and then find out what recoil it uses, and then slowly move your mouse so it stays in a nice pattern, not just like that.
Zorro.
I think for an AK, you've got to pull down a little bit, and then left, and then right.
Yeah.
If you do that gently with your mouse, it should keep in a circle. But it's just crazy shit like that. You got to learn.
Pull the old tactics of the CS 1.4 days, get an AWP, and just snipe everything.
Yeah. You just
Nice bomb action.
All day.
Bastards.
Yeah. AWP motherfuckers in D Aztec.
Wow. That brings back memories.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing to see though, that Counter-Strike still has its relevance today. I still love that the community, no matter what they're playing, there's always someone out there to play with. That is one of the cool
Unless you're playing Titanfall.
Yeah.
you will still find core things to play, and Court's brother Cameron, they're still playing. I don't know why. I have never played a game of Titanfall with them, and Titanfall has not gotten played since I finished the campaign because a game has to, if I'm not getting my money's worth with the single player campaign, the multiplayer, it had better transport hookers to my location to service me while I play multiplayer, because
And Beck's okay with that?
Story.
Beck's
And,
okay with that,
yeah.
obviously. That's fine.
And she'd demand the same if she was playing the game.
I
Shit.
demand male hookers
No.
and female, just in case Crow wants to join in. Yeah.
So what's going to happen when you guys go to PAX, hey?
Yeah. Oh, actually, my wife isn't coming down to PAX at the moment. Unfortunately, there's been a delay with a lot of the stuff for Over Indulgence because I'll break the mystery, but I'm actually recording this in my shed because we're in the process of moving house.
Oh.
So I haven't been able to set up my little space, but we'll still be moving when PAX is going on.
Right.
So she's being up here to solve everything while I gallivant around in Melbourne, catching up with people and getting shit-faced.
Nice.
All right, so let's talk PAX then, shall we? We'll round out the show with some PAX talk because I want to nail some shit down, and at least that way, it's on video, and I can refer to it later, just in case I get drunk between now and then, and I forget what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
When you're found with Corthal's blood on your hands.
Why? Right, so chances are I'm going to be coming down on the Friday evening. I've got a Saturday-Sunday ticket.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of where it begins and ends. So we can fill all manner of things in between those 48 hours.
Okay, well...
Just as long as I'm on a plane on Sunday night to get home for the Monday, which is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare release day, which I also have the day off, double XP, get on it.
Man,
God.
catch the morning, the Monday morning plane with us. So much easier.
Well, it was all about coming home with Soph, because Soph probably doesn't know if she can get Monday off as well.
Oh, no, that's true. Okay.
I might be able
Yeah.
to, but we'll
I'm
talk.
flying down there Thursday morning before PAX because there's quite a few people in Melbourne I need to catch up with. Meg, she was the manager of the Melbourne Marna Bar before it closed.
Mm-hmm.
She hot that she put out?
Sorry?
Is she hot that she put out?
No.
It's Ron's standard line of questioning for most
Yeah.
people.
But,
If she sees this, man, she just heard your answer. Is she hot that she put out? No.
Well, he didn't clarify what that was in relation to, so you're safe.
Aha.
Continue.
Well, so what is it?
I'm not going to respond purely because Meg was also the bouncer at Marna Bar Brisbane, and she's still got a build which could snap a motherfucker in half. I'm scared of that woman. Scared and
I'm intrigued.
yes, be intrigued. But
Ron is just
yeah,
thinking
I'm
sheer
going down
domination.
there too. Yeah, heading down there early so that we're able to set up and also get round hopefully to see other devs and people in Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday when you get in, I figure you've got a Saturday, Sunday ticket.
Saturday, Sunday, but yeah.
All right. Well, if you're getting down on Friday, then we're just going to meet you at your hotel room,
Zen.
trash it, record a podcast, and that's the thing. Over that entire weekend, we're just looking to really see as many people as we can, get as many interviews as we can, get as many podcasts as we can, because fuck it, we just want to catch up with people. That's like,
That's a cool idea. I wish I was coming. I really do.
Why aren't you coming?
I can't be fucked.
Right. Let me just write that down. Hang on a second. I didn't quite get that. Can't be fucked.
Did you want me to lie?
Okay. So it's not purely based on monetary or lack of notice or...
Nope.
Because
You guys gave me $5 for that.
the underlying thing with you, Ron, is that you don't get told. And here is us. We've been talking about this for now on 4 or 5 months now, and you don't want to come.
No, I know it is. But the other things, they've just been like really quick, like, hey, it's on Wednesday, and I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't know. And then that's different to this. We've talked about this for ages, but I just can't be fucked. So it's not like I'm gonna be missed or anything. Like I'm sure Gav's gonna be I'm sure Gav's going to be in fucking tears when he's down there. You know, restaurant, yeah.
Oh,
I really
I'm the flag flyer, mate. I've got to be there.
Hey?
I'm the flag flyer. That's it. I'm in the process of making t-shirts. You miss out on a t-shirt.
T-shirt of what?
We're
What's
actually
going to be on?
our t-shirts down there.
It'll be a t-shirt off.
Yeah.
Literally.
We're going to stand Griff in the middle of one of the stages, and we're going to make him strip and throw water at him.
You know what we should do? We should do a tandem ALS ice bucket challenge together.
You know what? I'm up for that.
At the end of the day, so we're not walking around dripping like idiots.
No. Come on. First thing in the morning.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome to PAX. Fuck.
You motherfuckers ain't getting let in now.
And my microphone is ruined. Damn it. Yeah.
No, it's... Hell, I'm up for that. Come on, let's do it, what, like 2 months late?
Well, that's the thing.
We've already found a cure.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to $14 million worth of funding, we found a cure 2 months ago.
Yeah, so these two motherfuckers are just standing out here drenched in ice water. Yeah. Oh, well, don't we look like idiots?
But now we're going to put their donation towards therapy for pneumonia, because that's chances are what they're going to be having from now on.
No, we're going to need to start a Kickstarter to treat our pneumonia.
Yeah. Nice.
No, but yeah, PAX in terms like OIs, we're just honestly going down there to meet people. So if you're a fan of QuadFeed, if you're a fan of us, if you're a fan of anything out there, we're basically just wanting to go down there and talk to you guys, because we don't review games, we don't critique games, we just talk about games and pop culture and everything. So we just want to head down there and talk with people who are passionate about something in that sphere. Because I would rather talk to one person who's passionate about a game and is happy to talk about why they think Ocarina of Time is the best game they've ever played, rather than talk to a whole array of PR marketing people who want to tell us why we want to buy their game. I want to talk to people who are passionate about something they've just tried, they've just played. The developers are always great, but PR is what throws me for a six. And that's why PAX is definitely the event that we want to be at, because PR isn't involved. It's devs showing off their game, and those guys and girls are brilliant. Absolutely phenomenal. So...
I can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait. I mean, PAX Prime's going on. It's going on soon. Very, very soon.
I think it's next weekend. I think it could be next weekend.
I'm completely jealous of all the things that the Americans get to go to, and PAX East and PAX Prime, Gamescom, all that.
One day we'll plan a trip to go over there.
One day I'll get over there. One day there'll be a company that goes, you know what? I like that guy's opinion. I will fly him over there.
If you get the opportunity over the time at PAX as well, there's a great guy to talk to, Yug from Australian Gamer. He is the marketing and events manager for...
I've heard you and Korth talk about him quite a few times. Well, Korth specifically, but it'd be good to see him.
He's actually he's the reason I know Korth. He used to run the website Australian Gamer with Matt Burgess, and they basically started this brilliant gaming community up here in Brisbane, and it expanded, and there's people in Sydney, people in Melbourne, and Yug is really, he's the guy. If you want to do an event, if you want to do something in Australia involved with gaming, he knows everyone. He's had drinks with everyone, and he's one of the most passionate, and he cares honestly about the games industry, not just as somebody whose paycheck depends on it, but as somebody who, he's the guy who said to me, it would have been middle of 2009, and went, hey, I want to make a gaming bar where you can drink and play games. And he was so passionate about it that I just went, you know what? I'm a shitty. I'll help you do it. And I didn't get paid for it. I didn't accept any payment for it purely because he was one of the first people that I'd ever met who had ever had that conversation that everybody talked about when Mana Bar opened, which was like, oh, I had this idea like years ago. He was the first guy to actually do it, to just knuckle down and make it work. And yeah, he's
it takes a trailblazer, doesn't it? It takes a pioneer to to take that first step where other people have gone, you know what, my mortgage isn't worth risking, or insert dependables here. It's a hard decision to make.
I watched the dude over the years that he was running Mana Bar and everything, and he, it being kind of at the helm with PAX and everything that he does. I don't know all the details, but you look at how last year went. The biggest issue that most people had was that their lines were a little long. Yeah, space, and the lines were a little too long. If that's your only issue when hosting a one-of-a-kind event in a completely new country with people who, didn't have experience with it, then you are doing fantastically. So I'm really excited for PAX because, it's the passion project of a friend, and it's the one thing that Australia needs. We all play games and we all love it. And this is kind of that one place where everybody can get together, and it feels exactly like Mana Bar does to this day, which is you go in and you're able to talk to anyone there purely because you've got this one defining link between everyone there, which is you play games, you enjoy games, you've got that one thing that links everyone together. And that's beautiful. My wife and I have spent more time at Mana Bar than our own home on occasion, purely because we head down there, talk with friends.
You don't have kids, do you?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely child-free.
Good.
I can't wait till Sydney gets theirs. What's it called again? Spawn Point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm already in talks with them, but just need them to gain traction in getting some foundations, and then we'll be in there. Might do a bit of advertising with them, but remains to be seen.
Oh no, that's brilliant. See, that's one thing that's kind of amazing is that regardless of like Mana Bar has copped a lot of flack because people say this, people say that. I'm not. I don't really care. It's people have their opinions on whatever they like, but I love the fact that it was the idea that everyone had never took on. Once it was done, people then started going, you know what, maybe it's worth it. And it came through at this beautiful time where now gaming culture went from being outside-ish, where
subculture.
Yeah, where it went from being the subculture to an acceptable culture. People are playing Plants vs. Zombies and Fruit Ninja on their phones in the train. It's now permeated enough that it's not seen as the subculture, and the fact that one place will start that and allow the idea to spread through. I love it because now you see more people at Supernova, more people at Armageddon, more people at Oz Comic Con, more people going because they don't feel as if they're like
outcasts.
Yeah, they don't feel like outcasts. They know that if they run into their boss there, it's no longer going to be a case of like, oh, I just needed to find a toilet.
Only came here to get directions on how to get away from here.
But now it's everyone can go, and I know it sounds really preachy and kind of sappy to sit here and say all these great things about it, but I'm amazed by that. I love it. It's one of the best things to happen in our gaming culture, because
something to be proud of. It's great.
Yeah,
it was very heartfelt. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Feel you.
Pour come down to PAX now,
pour out some wine for you. Pour out some 40. 40 ounce, baby.
40. That's $40 a bottle. Thank
$40
you.
a bottle, motherfucker.
Who died just there? No one's dead.
Maybe I just need to
Oh wow, here we go again. We're back to the semen.
No, we're not.
He needs to be moisturized.
I'm English. I've got delicate skin.
Yeah. If he doesn't
Really?
if he doesn't moisturize himself every 2 hours, he becomes like a dried husk.
I turn
Like
into
a vampire
Secretly a
that's
beach dolphin.
I turn into an Anzac biscuit.
Just gotta keep him wet.
That's what she said. And with that, I think we are going to wrap up episode 34. I'm sufficiently lubed up and ready for Ben to tackle Counter-Strike with me. I would like to thank...
That's the code word for sex.
Yeah. It's going to be so funny seeing Gav going from Call of Duty to hardcore Counter-Strike and just dying within 3 seconds.
I'm glad you said
I can't wait.
Walk out of
hardcore
door and get
Counter-Strike.
headshot.
I might record it. I might record it. That'll be...
It's just going to be like,
can't
what
do
is
it.
this shit? What is this game? And you're going to stop playing.
Yeah.
Gonna rage quit in a second.
I think
Well-
you'll like D-Dust. All the others you'll hate.
Office is the best. Office.
Office.
You're an essay.
Well, we'll deliberate this after the show. But for the time being, I want to thank the Crow. Thanks for coming on, mate. Be good to catch up with you guys in a couple of months' time. We'll...
Yeah, I'm honestly really looking forward to it. Just to be able to sit down, hang out, and stroke that magnificent beard with my own hands.
That's it. That's it. Do you need me to...
Oh,
Anyway.
that's right.
I can't wait to see your
really read
hotel
it.
room. There's just going to be those bottles just littered everywhere. And we're like, Soph, what is going on around here? And she'll just be like, they're not mine. I swear they're not mine.
I swear they're not mine. Totally mine. And I'll thank to Benny Amino. It's
Thank
now
you.
nearly midnight. Can't be fucked, says Ron. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was the whole going down to PAX thing.
Oh,
So
that's it. That's it.
I changed it. I'm on the
CBF.
board.
That's we
That's
need
good,
to
Dave.
tattoo. Chris's camera has been stuck on his face for the best part of 45 minutes to an hour, and that is all I see. Just a nice big black square. But thanks for coming,
Oh, really?
Christoph. Yeah, it actually in the thumbnails it actually looks like you're whispering constantly into Ben's ear.
I am.
Are you getting that as
Oh,
well?
wait, is it this way?
Whispering sweet nothings.
Yeah.
This man is being censored due to explicit content. Rated AO.
I might have to take some sort of screen cap just to... Oh, no, that's probably too much. I was just clicking off of you
He's
whenever
trying
you
to
said
nibble
something.
Ben's nose now.
That's it. Tell me you love me. And thank you, Ronald. I hope you get out of Guantanamo sometime soon.
Nah.
Mic drop.
Anyway, like I said, that was episode 34. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you're watching the YouTube version. Don't forget you can find this on iTunes and Stitcher Radio and Podbean. Links will be in the description. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Moisturized. Beautiful. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Yeah.
This episode of QuadFeed was recorded in front of a studio audience.